Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and welcome to beautiful Labatt Park in the heart of downtown London, Ontario for tonight's contest between the London Majors and the Guelph Royals. This one is a big one in the Inter-County Baseball League as two of these teams are duking it out for first place in the IBL as the chase for the pennant comes to an end this weekend. The Majors will be at Christie Pitts in Toronto on Sundays. We welcome you inside the Game Day London broadcast booth. Dylan, Baker, Neil Srivastava. To my left, Neil works for the Guelph Royals. He's been nice enough to come down and help us out tonight as Noah Smith's still away at a wedding this weekend. Tyler Middleton, who's worked with us as well, so congrats to Tyler and his wife on their wedding. But Neil is down with us. Thanks so much for coming down, Neil.
Well, thanks for having us down here. It's just a nice drive on a Friday night and a great night for baseball. And, of course, like I said on the Royals Facebook chat, hey, the Blue Jays are playing on Apple TV, so why are you not watching this?
Exactly. It should be a good one between the Majors and the Guelph Royals, two of the top teams in the IBL. And, Neil, that's kind of been the case all season long.
And no question. It's just like I think these teams have been, from the get-go, from the moment the season started, both teams have been gunning for this positioning. They want to be in these spots, especially the last weekend of the season. You can't ask for better baseball at this time of the year, especially in August, going into postseason.
Absolutely. It's a beautiful night for baseball here at Labatt Park, and we are almost going to get underway here at the Forks of the Thames. Let's take a look now at the Inter-County Baseball League standings. And, Neil, you're kind of more well-versed than I am on this subject. What are the implications tonight?
Well, if the London Majors win this game, they clinch at least a tie for first place. The Guelph Royals have to win tonight and keep winning this weekend to force a tie. They can't finish any higher in the standings ahead of London or anything else. The highest they can go is 31-11. The Majors have a potential to go 32-10. So it's a huge game tonight. And, of course, the Welland Jackfish are lurking in the waters as well. They're at 29-11 right now. But, yes, they've got 2 games left to go as well. So they win there, too. And it could be a 3-way tie for first place come Sunday.
I enjoy the play on words there with the Jackfish being in the waters as well. Let's take a look now at the Guelph Royals lineup in this ball game as the Majors take the field right now. You see it on your screen there. Connor Morrow leads things off at shortstop, followed by Kyle DeGrace behind the plate. Josh Garton's in right field. Malik Collymore, Sean Riley, Justin Interessano. 4, 5, 6. We apologize, Interessano not written correctly there on your screen. Ethan Hammond, Darius Barlas, and Ashton Patterson round things out. Neil, what should we watch for in this Guelph lineup?
They're gonna try to get out on the scoreboard early and just use their speed to their advantage. They have to steal bases. They're gonna be second in the league in stolen bases behind, of course, the Welland Jackfish. They're off on a different planet when it comes to stolen bases, but they're gonna use their offense, and they don't hit a lot of home runs here. We don't have a home run against the London Majors this year so far, but the Majors have hit 4 against us. So you'll see. You're going to see guys try to hit the gaps here and just try to leg some extra bases out.
The matchups between these two teams have been pretty close all year long. Owen Boone threw a complete game in the first contest between the two on May 23rd here at Labatt Park in a 6-1 Majors victory. Then I think you said it was 6-2 the next time the Royals were in town. It's always been tight at Hastings Stadium, and so we're hoping for another one like that here.
Well, no question, Mary. We just love to see, you'd love to see great baseball on a Friday night here.
The Majors taking the field now, as they always do before the anthem. You get a look at Gibson Kraminski, who's back in the lineup. Played last Tuesday against the Brantford Red Sox. Has not seen as much playing time lately with the return of guys like Taylor Wright to this potent Majors offense. And now being introduced, the starting pitcher for the Majors, Jose Arias. And we will get into the starting pitcher matchup in just a little while. As they get ready for the national anthems here at Labatt Park, we are going to take a quick break and be right back. You're watching the Majors and Royals on MajorsTV.
It comes from farms, farmers, and their families. At Healthy Eats, we believe if we wouldn't serve it to our families, we wouldn't serve it to yours. From farm to folks, we do things the way they're meant to be.
Here we go.
Believe me, you've never heard a talk show like this.
I'm sleeping with Joe Carter. By the way, Joe did not touch them all.
Yeah.
I have to say, your voice is fantastic.
Meet Smitty.
Listen, I'm the brains here.
And Mitty.
And I'm the good-looking funny one.
This is the Smitty Mitty Show.
Catch new episodes of the Smitty and Mitty Show wherever you get your podcasts. Go beyond the scores and get to know the athletes who call the Forest City home. Game Day London brings you in-depth stories and conversations about London's major teams and athletes. Whether it's the London Knights, Nationals, or Lightning, or even your London Majors, Game Day London has you covered. For fresh and engaging sports coverage, visit GameDayLondon.com. Game Day London, a proud sponsor of your London Majors.
My name's Tiffany Creasy, and I take care of the sales and marketing at Rickard Promotions and Recognition. Some of the things that we do at Rickard Promotions and Recognition is we bring your brand to life. We kind of put your logo on anything that you can give away or brand, and we can service clients right across Canada. At Rickard Promotions and Recognition, we can take care of your designing of your logo, for any artwork that you need done, for the branding. And a lot of people don't realize we can do that here. We also have our in-house production that we take care of your order from start to finish right here at our one location. So with keeping everything in-house, from graphic design to in-house production, we're able to get you your order a lot quicker with a faster turnaround time. We'll help gather your ideas together, give you some options to kind of narrow down the search for you, whether it be from your apparel to promotional products. And from there, we'll get your mock-ups done, proofs done, order done, and the quality control is right there all along the way for you.
So tell me where it hides. I know I got some lightning currents running through me. I found that silver lining on the inside of me. Yeah.
Welcome back to Labatt Park as the ceremonial first pitch about to get thrown. You get a look at the skyline here in London. One of the best in the IBL, Neil.
No question. It's always been a treat to come down here. Anytime the Royals have been down here, I fell in love with this ballpark at a very early age. My first year in the league was a bat boy with the Royals in 1993, and this place has always had a special place in my heart ever since.
Well, the umpires for tonight's ball game behind the plate is Rob Stevenson. You get a look at him right there. He's the crew chief as well as the home plate umpire in this one. It's a three-man crew today. James Lillies is over at first base, and Bob Blake is the third base umpire in this contest. They will be the umpiring crew for the two men on the mound. And let's get a look at the starting pitching matchup right now for you. It is an absolute doozy. Jose Arias for the Majors. You see him on your screen there. And Claudio Custodio for the Guelph Royals.
You couldn't ask for a better matchup, and you couldn't ask for two better pitchers in this league to go head-to-head on a Friday night when literally it could come down to the pennant tonight.
Absolutely. It could. Get a look at the numbers for both guys. Custodio 10-0. 235 earned run average, a little bit higher than that of Arias at 160, but the strikeouts per nine, 14.7. He doesn't walk very many batters either, just 2.02 batters per 9 innings. And Claudio Custodio, of course, broke the single-season Intercounty Baseball League strikeout record.
No question he did. He beat the great Ron Stead with 156 strikeouts. That record lasted for 57 seasons. That's just an incredible mark as it was. When it got closer and closer to it, I was awestruck. It was just like, I cannot believe this record's actually going to fall, because knowing Ron for a few years and before he passed away and everything else, met him a couple of times, it's just the consummate gentleman and a great ambassador for the game. Of course, he was the first member of the Canadian Baseball Hall of Fame elected for his amateur status.
Jose Arias going to be looking to break a record of his own tonight, as he has the chance to set the new single-season Majors strikeout record at 130. Currently, Arias sits at 121 this Intercounty Baseball League season. He's been incredible for London all year long, and with 9 strikeouts tonight, he could break the Majors single-season record for strikeouts, but that's not an easy task against this Guelph Royals lineup.
Well, they don't usually strike out a lot, and when they do, it's not in bunches either, so Arias is going to have to make the most of his opportunities once he gets them here.
Arias just wrapping things up out there on the mound. Not a guy who spends a lot of time in the bullpen pregame, Jose Arias. As he's usually a quick guy in the bullpen, will throw his fair share of pitches once he gets out to the mound, but it looks like he is ready to go now as Connor Morrow walks towards the batter's box.
Of course, with J.D. Williams and Dalton Pompey both unavailable tonight for due to personal reasons, Connor Morrow gets the opportunity to lead things off for the Royals in the first here.
Both Williams and Pompey have seen the bulk of the at-bats out of the leadoff spot this season for the Guelph Royals. Morrow called upon by Royals skipper Dino Rumel in this one. Arias into the windup. Here is the first pitch of the ball game. Connor Morrow lines that one hard, but well foul, and it's 0-1. .740 first pitch in this one, just 5 minutes behind schedule. Into the windup goes Arias once again. Here's the 0-1 home. That's going to miss outside. 4-1.
Key to the Royals' offense is going to be being patient at the plate, making Arias throw more pitches than he wants to tonight.
Count is even at a ball and a strike. Into the windup. Here's the pitch. Squaring around a bunt is Morrow. He pulls back, but that's a called strike anyway, says home plate umpire Rob Stevenson.
Morrow didn't like the call. He has some words with Stevenson and steps out of the box and dusts himself off, shakes his head one more time, and gets back to work.
Looking to strike out the first man he faces. Into the windup goes Arias. Here's the pitch on the outside corner. That's a called strike 3. Morrow doesn't like the call, but it's the first out of the top of the first inning for the Majors.
Pitch got the outside part of the plate by the looks of it anyways, and Morrow didn't like it, but Rob Stevenson's got a better view than we do.
I often talk about the umpires' calls, but we don't exactly have the best view up here, do we? It's Stevenson down there who's got the prime viewing experience of those pitches. Kyle DeGrace will dig into the batter's box. Calls time. Wasn't quite set as Arias began his windup. Saying to Rob Stevenson, you got to give me a second here as I wasn't ready in the batter's box.
Of course, DeGrace in his 6th game of the season so far. He's still trying to qualify for postseason, so he'll definitely be in the lineup most of this weekend.
Here's the pitch. Good fastball from Arias. Cut on and missed by Kyle DeGrace. It's 0-1.
Brendan Keys has been doing the majority of the catching. Noah Roberts has filled in from time to time as well to give Keys a night off.
Into the windup goes Arias. Here's the 0-1 home. Swing and a miss once again. The count moves to no balls and 2 strikes. Now, Neil, for those at home who aren't aware, what are the numbers for qualification this year in the IBL?
Batters need 24 plate appearances. Pitchers need 10 innings pitched over 5 games. So a lot of guys this week have even seen a lot of different interesting lineups throughout the league as guys just trying to get those last-minute pushes to qualify for postseason.
Jose Arias sets down Kyle DeGrace looking. It's back-to-back strikeouts looking for Jose Arias to start the ball game. He is now 7 strikeouts away from the record. That'll bring up Josh Garton, the big power left-handed hitter, the winner of the 2020 Guelph Royals Home Run Derby. Played for Hamilton last season. Into the windup goes Arias. Here's the pitch. In there for a strike. It's 0-1.
Garton didn't like that call either. But again,
quite a few calls that the Royals have not been fans of so far. We'll see if that goes both ways come the bottom of the first inning. Into the windup Arias. The 0-1 on its way. Garton hits that one hard. Going to be a tough play for Candell. Makes the stop on a dive. Gets up quickly. Throws to first, but it's not quite in time. Candell shaded a little bit more up the middle for that at-bat, and despite the great diving stop, he couldn't get the throw to first in time.
Valiant effort on the play, but it's unfortunate, like you mentioned, he was a little too close to second base and had to commit the other way all of a sudden in a hurry and just made it stop and tried to get him out of time, but Garton's got some decent wheels as well.
So Malik Collymore will dig into the batter's box for Guelph. Third baseman in this one, batting cleanup. Arias now going to work out of the stretch for the first time tonight. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 1.
Collymore's been slumping a little bit at the plate, but he's been showing signs of life. The last couple of games, he's getting some solid contact here and there, but he's been striking a lot more than he used to.
Still batting .355 on the season, just a testament to how good he's been so far. 0-1 on its way from Arias, breaking ball. That one's hit on the ground off the end of the bat. Newton will shovel it over to Keith Candell, and that'll do it for the top of the first. So a base hit for Josh Garten, but a successful first inning for the Majors. Arias with 2 strikeouts in the top of the first, which puts him 7 strikeouts away from setting the Majors single-season record previously established by Mike Kilkenny back in the 1975 season. Kilkenny, of course, a former Detroit Tiger as well, came to London after his big league career and absolutely dominated the Intercounty Baseball League. 129 punch-outs in the 75 season, and Jose Arias has a great opportunity tonight to set the new Majors record as you get a look at the guy who set the Intercounty Baseball League record for strikeouts in a single season, Claudio Custodio. How good has he been this year?
He has been amazing. That's the best way to put it. We've been spoiled in Guelph watching him pitch almost every second or third game. Every time he gets the ball, he just goes out there and finds new ways to strike people out, baffle hitters, and just been an absolute delight to watch pitch this year.
Let's take a look now at who he's going to have to face out there on the mound. The London Majors lineup in this contest, brought to you by Healthy Eats. The Majors will be throwing a similar top 6, really, to what we've been seeing all season long, as Jacob Newton leads things off at second base. Taylor Wright bats second. He's at third. Cleveland Brownlee's the designated hitter, batting third. Robert Mullen is cleaning up and doing the catching in this one. Starling Joseph is in right. Byron Reichstein at first base. Keith Candell, Gibson Krominski, and Drew Lawrence round things out for this potent Majors offense.
Of course, Tyler Wright in the head-to-head matchups is batting .400 so far on the year. 2 RBIs, no home runs. Only Majors that with home runs against the Royals so far, of course, Robert Mullen, he's got 1, and Cleveland Brownlee, no surprise. Again, he's got 2. I think they were both at Hastings Stadium. He's got 5 RBIs against the Royals so far in the games head-to-head. So that's through 5 contests anyways.
And for a few of those contests, not all of them, but for a few, the Majors have had to face Claudio Custodio. It was Emilis Guerrero here in the first matchup, but I believe every time the Majors have been in Guelph, they've seen Custodio.
Yeah, I think it's just worked out that way. You guys have been into Hastings on a Saturday, and it's just been how the numbers worked out. Claudio usually gets to pitch the Saturdays or the Sunday occasionally, but it's usually Saturdays. That's been his day, and occasionally the occasional Tuesday here and there, but with the way the rotations worked out, he's definitely seen the ball 2 out of every 3 games here.
So Jacob Newton will dig into the batter's box to lead things off for the Majors. And if you want to talk about a guy who's had a fantastic season, Jacob Newton is that guy. He's really turned things on over the month of July. He was fantastic. Going from a guy who was hitting around the bottom of the order to start the year to now a guy who solidified himself in that leadoff spot. The 1-0 on its way from Custodio. In there on the outside corner for a called strike 1.
The key to Custodio has always been if he gets ahead in the count, he's on a good night. Of course, he struggled a little bit in the first inning against Toronto, but settled down and got through 8 innings. He got the win, as that one's taken for a strike, and it's now 1-2.
Newton on the year, batting .380, 7 home runs, 32 runs batted in. Here's the pitch from Custodio, chopped on the ground to second base. Barlas comes in, throws over to Interessano at first, and that'll be a quick first out for Claudio Custodio. That'll bring up Taylor Wright now for the Majors. Wright, such a valuable piece to this team, this offense all season long. He's got the power to drive the ball out of the ballpark, and he hits for a high average as well, up over .380 for the Majors so far.
.394 if I'm not mistaken, but 5 home runs, 21 RBIs so far.
Here's the pitch. That one will miss up high for ball 1.
Looks like Custodio's just trying to set where the eye level is tonight with the umpire.
Here's the 1-0. Wright takes a big hack at that one, comes up empty. Taylor Wright, as you mentioned, batting .394, I believe, this season, and just doesn't have enough at-bats to qualify right now in the Intercounty Baseball League for the league leaders. He'd be second in average. But because he left the majors for a brief period this season, he doesn't have quite enough plate appearances to qualify, as that pitch is fouled off and the count is 1-2.
And, it's great to see a guy like Wright get a chance to go to the Frontier League, get a taste of what it is like to play in a professional league. Then came back here, and he's just been lights out for you guys.
He's behind in this count to Custodio, a ball and 2 strikes. As Custodio looking for his first strikeout of the ball game. Here's the pitch. He's got it as Taylor Wright swings through that one, and there are quickly 2 away here in the bottom of the first inning. Cleveland Brownlee will dig into the batter's box for the Majors. Batting in the 3 spot as usual this season.
Cleveland's batting .318 against the Royals this year. 4 runs scored, 7 hits, a double, 2 home runs, 5 RBIs. 12 strikeouts for the big guy. I think Custodio's got his number a few times this year.
Custodio's got everybody's number, it feels like, in the IBL this season. First pitch was a called strike to Brownlee. The next one will miss off the plate outside, and it's 1-1.
Claudio likes to get ahead of hitters in this league. He likes to throw that first pitch for a strike and then just work around them from there on in.
Breaking ball, Cleveland Brownlee comes up empty with that swing, and the count moves to a ball and 2 strikes.
At one point in the season, we had figured out his first pitch strike ratio. I think it was 94%.
That's unbelievable. Into the windup. The 1-2 from Custodio. Brownlee lines that one straight back towards us. Both Neil and I were ready for that baseball if it came through the screen.
Hey, baseballs ain't cheap. Let's go.
Most parks in the IBL, you don't get to keep that baseball.
That is true.
They ask you to trade it in for some kind of souvenir, whether that's a freezy or
something from the concession stand usually.
Here's the pitch. Brownlee gets a piece of that breaking ball, lines it back to the screen once more. Count remains, I should say, a ball and 2 strikes.
Brownlee's one of the smarter ones in this league. He's actually taken Custodio off his game. Custodio likes to wheel and deal as much as possible. You're willing to stay on the box. He's going to throw another pitch as soon as he can. But Brownlee bailed out there and made Custodio work at his pace.
The 1-2 home. That one misses. A few Royals were moving on the infield thinking that was strike 3. It was close, but home plate umpire Rob Stevenson said, no, that's a little too low, and it's 2-2. Into the windup, Custodio. Here's the 2-2 to Brownlee. Did he go? Yes, he did, says the first base umpire. Brownlee in disbelief as he is set down on strikes to end the bottom of the first inning. We're through 1 complete here in London. No score between the Majors and Royals. You're watching a battle for the IBL pennant on Majors TV.
Capturing emotion in every shot.
Welcome back to Labatt Park. Get a look at what is a very good crowd here tonight on hand to take in this Majors and Royals contest. That was the expectation, Neil, because it's such a huge contest.
Oh, no question. And like I said before, the Jays are playing on Apple TV, and why wouldn't you want to go watch a game live when you have the opportunity anyways in your own backyard?
Absolutely. The crowd's always pretty good here at Labatt Park, but tonight I think it's one of the bigger ones we've seen this season. People have come out in droves to support the hometown Majors, and I'm sure there are quite a few people who've come down from Guelph to take in this contest.
Oh, no question. I got stopped in the parking lot by a trio of different people as I was walking just up to here to the press box, and it was great to see everybody. It's like, yeah, great. But it's just, I don't know, it was just great to see so many people dedicated enough to take the trip down on a Friday night.
Absolutely, why not? Great night for baseball, great matchup on the mound, and great matchup overall, really, between these two teams. The Guelph Royals in third place right now in the Intercounty Baseball League. The Majors sitting in first place at the moment. It's so tight. It could go a variety of different ways this weekend, and this is the first of a big 3-day series of games.
No question is, of course, the Royals play tonight in London. They got the Brantford Red Sox tomorrow night at home at Hastings Stadium, and they finish off on the road in Kitchener at 2 o'clock on Sunday. Of course, the Majors in Toronto. Goodness, that's going to be quite the afternoon on Sunday afternoon with the Bushmen in full effect at Christie Pitts.
Absolutely, it will be. Bushmen always supporting their Leafs. It should be an exciting contest on Sunday, and the Majors really control their own destiny. If they win both, they've got the pennant. That's theirs. But if they lose one game, they need some help this weekend to avoid a tie. And I believe, Neil, there's a scenario in which Welland takes sole possession of first place.
Yeah,
as well.
if London loses both games and Welland wins all 3 of their games this week, they would, of course, take possession of first. But, yeah, it could be an interesting few days as far as lots of scoreboard watching, lots of, checking in on their teams that you probably wouldn't check in on too much. As Riley gets this series of boos here as he comes to plate.
That's probably more boos than we've seen all season long.
That's a first.
So Riley digs into the batter's box to face Arias here. First pitch on its way. Outside corner, strike one.
Arias seems to be setting up outside. Mullen just seems to be holding that glove there, and Rob Stevenson is just having no problems but calling those strikes there.
The outside corner seems to be favoring the pitchers, at least so far. Breaking ball, and he gets a big swing and miss from Riley, who's now behind 0-2.
Of course, Riley is claiming this is his swan song, his curtain call, but I'll believe it when I see it. Made that mistake with Brownlee in the past, writing something about that, and next thing you know, he's back in the lineup the next year.
That pitch will miss. Good take there from Sean Riley, and the count moves to a ball and 2 strikes. Brownlee and Riley, 2 guys who've been around the league a while. Riley certainly much longer than Cleveland has been, and the career that Sean Riley has had, it speaks for itself. And, somebody's going to give him an opportunity if he wants to keep playing, and I know he loves playing for his hometown Royals. That one is just off the outside corner. It's 2-2.
I think one of those pitches you get later in the evening here as a strike, as the strike zones tend to expand in the IBL. So maybe Mullen and Arias will keep that one in their back pocket for another at bat.
So from 0-2, the count goes to 2 balls and 2 strikes. Into the windup goes Arias. Here's the pitch breaking ball. Riley laces that one to center field. Drew Lawrence barely has to move out there. He's got that one on the line, and it's 1 away.
Custodio's even doing the bat boy right now.
Just pointing that out. I mean, that's crazy.
He just wants to stay in the game any way he can. Of course, he's done the DH. He's done the Shohei Ohtani routine, but obviously tonight you just wanted to focus on pitching.
Neil, I was watching the preview show that you did for the Guelph Royals game in Brantford earlier this week. Custodio was at shortstop? Did I hear that correctly?
He was at shortstop. He threw his bullpen behind me, and I was like, he was worried he was making too much noise in the camera.
It's unbelievable. He's such a talented athlete, Claudio Custodio. Does it so well on the mound and able to perform on the field and at the plate as well.
Of course, the Yankees originally signed him as a shortstop way back when, and then when he got released from it, he began pitching for the Barrie Bay Cats and turned a lot of heads in this league back then even. And he got re-signed by the Blue Jays and made his way through the minor leagues again, and fortunately got released by the Baltimore Orioles last winter.
Guelph Royals certainly wasted no time to jump all over him.
Oh, no question. I was pretty sure as soon as that release was signed, I think Dino Ramel and Sean Fuller were both on the phone and trying to convince him to come to the Royal City.
He's been such a great arm for the Royals so far. The pitch from Arias will miss inside to Justin Interessano, and the count is 2-1.
And he's one of those guys that the younger kids, especially the juniors that are coming up, the Ashton Pattersons, the Owen Ellises, Noah Roberts and everything else have gotten to know over the year and just, talked baseball about things and talked about approaches at plates and stuff like that. And Custodio, even Dalton Pompey, those guys have all been willing to just impart some knowledge on these younger players.
And Terrasano fouls that one off towards the third base side parking lot. And Neil, I know you don't come here very often, but I hope you parked your car.
We parked way out behind there somewhere.
Perfect. Perfect. You're a veteran here.
Yeah.
Jose Arias ahead of Terrasano 2-2. Has a chance to get his third strikeout of the ball game. Got the first two guys down via the strikeout. Does not have one since then. Here's the pitch on its way, and Terrasano hits that one hard. It's going to be a tough play. Newton on a dive, gets up quickly, throws to first in time. A great play by Jacob Newton to record the second out of the second inning.
Great play by Newton, and even better to remind himself he had some patience with the slow-footed and Terrasano running up the line. And Terrasano, of course, nursing that quad injury he got on Canada Day as well, so he had a couple more seconds than he probably normally would against most guys in this league.
Another example right there of a Majors infielder making a great stop despite the fact that they were shaded kind of in a different direction. Keith Candell was more up the middle when he made his diving play, could not get Josh Garton at first base, and then right there Newton was further over towards first base on that rocket of a ground ball from Terrasano. Here's the pitch from Jose Arias. That is fouled off by Ethan Hammond. 0-1.
Hammond head-to-head against the Majors. He's got 18 at-bats, batting .333. 2 runs scored, 3 hits allowed here. And 6 hits, sorry. I was looking the wrong line there. But he's been finding ways to get on board here for a lot of the Royals in most contests.
That one will miss low, and it's a ball and a strike to Hammond. Arias shakes off Mullen a couple times, gets the sign he wants. Into the windup he goes. Here's the 1-1 on the ground to third base. Taylor Wright waits back a little bit and will throw over to Byron Reichstein at first to retire the side. To get out of the top of the second inning, so far both pitchers have been locked in.
That they have been. So far, it's lived up to the billing here as far as being probably the premier matchup in the IBL. So far, this season anyways.
We've been told that foul ball did find its way into the parking lot and did hit a car's windshield, according to our cameraman Matthew Young. So we hope it's not yours if you're...
No, I don't think it is. We're way down, further down, so I guess we're okay.
Take a look now at the out-of-town scoreboard. The Kitchener Panthers are in Hamilton this evening, taking on the Hamilton Cardinals. Kitchener just secured 6th place in the IBL as they are leading the Hamilton Cardinals 4-0. Toronto is in Brantford. That game not yet underway. A Maple Leafs win would clinch home field through the first round as they would get 4th place. And in New York, the Blue Jays are ahead of the Yankees 1-0 at Yankee Stadium as they try to claw their way back to the top of the wild card and towards the first place New York Yankees. Jays, it feels like, have really missed an opportunity lately with the Yankees struggling to climb in the division.
Yeah, they've been struggling themselves. They just can't get the pitching going the way it needs to go. And, of course, Kikuchi has struggled in the rotation. Of course, the injury to Ross Stripling didn't help things on top of things. So it's been a little bit of a struggle for the Jays of late. And, of course, the bats have kind of gone quiet until, especially in that Baltimore series where it just was, at times, it was painful to watch them go up there and bat against a team that's playing with absolutely nothing to lose.
Yeah, that Baltimore series was absolutely a tough one to watch. Here at Labatt Park, it's been a pretty good one to watch so far, especially if you're a fan of pitching. Claudio Custodio and Jose Arias have both been locked in on the mound so far. Custodio had the Majors go 1-2-3, got himself a pair of strikeouts of Taylor Wright and Cleveland Brownlee. Jose Arias is through 2 innings, having struck out 2 as well. And now Custodio will have to deal with Robert Mullen, Starling Joseph, and Byron Reichstein.
What can you say about the season that Robert Mullen has put together other than, what hasn't been said yet? 14 home runs, 47 RBIs, a .413 average for a catcher.
You want your import guys to be some of your bigger contributors, and Robert Mullen has lived up to the hype. He hits that one high in the air, not overly deep, moving over Hammond towards the line, just barely in foul territory. He makes the grab for the first out of the bottom of the second. So Starling Joseph will saunter into the batter's box now to face Custodio, who got a quick out on just one pitch to start the bottom of the second inning.
Joseph batting .316 against the Royals, 6 hits so far. A walk to his credit, 6 strikeouts as well, so the Royals have definitely had his number the majority of the season.
Here's the pitch from Custodio, a swing and a miss from Starling Joseph. It's 0-1.
I wonder if the message from the Majors bench is, hey, he's going to throw you a first pitch strike, so you might as well take a good hack at it.
Why not? It may be the best pitch you see against Custodio, who's got so many different options to go to. Here's the pitch. Joseph fights that one off. It's a foul ball, and it's 0-2.
Yeah, Custodio's got the baseball. He's already towing the rubber, waiting for Starling Joseph to get back in here. He means business.
No balls, 2 strikes. Here's the pitch on its way. Outside corner called strike 3. So that's that outside corner that Jose Arias has been the beneficiary of in the previous innings on the mound. Now Custodio gets that call as Joseph goes down looking.
Not much of an argument from Joseph on that one either. He just saw where the pitch was and was like, okay, our guy's got it, so I guess it's fair.
As long as the home plate umpire is consistent.
That's all you can ask for.
Exactly.
Keep it fair and keep it consistent. That's all you can ask of any umpire at any level.
Byron Reichstein digs into the batter's box. Here's the first pitch from Claudio Custodio. Inside corner, he's got it at strike 1.
Reichstein against the Royals is batting .250. He's only got 4 plate appearances, only the one game so far. I believe the Saturday night in London, or again in the Royal City actually a couple weeks ago. In the Royals 7-3 victory over these Majors.
0-1 the count. Pardon me, 0-2 to Byron Reichstein. Here's the pitch on its way. Checked his swing. Did he go? No, he did not, says the third base umpire, Bob Blake.
Didn't look like his hands broke the plane, so I guess that's a fair one.
Custodio nods along. Here's the pitch on its way inside, and that will be ball 2 to Byron Reichstein.
His release point looked off on that one. He's out there talking to himself a little bit. You can see him on the mound. He's looking down at the baseball, gets another grip, and goes back with that same pitch.
Good breaking ball there to set down Byron Reichstein, and that'll do it for the bottom of the second. So 2 innings, no score from Labatt Park. You're watching the Royals and Majors on MajorsTV.
Do you know where your food comes from? Like where it really comes from? It comes from farms, farmers, and their families. At Healthy Eats, we believe if we wouldn't serve it to our families, we wouldn't serve it to yours. From farm to folks, we do things the way they're meant to be.
Here we go.
Believe me, you've never heard a talk show like this.
I'm sleeping with Joe Carter. By the way, Joe did not touch them all.
Yeah, I have to say, like, your voice is fantastic.
Meet Smitty.
Listen, I'm the brains here.
And Mitty.
And I'm the good-looking funny one.
This is the Smitty Mitty Show.
Catch new episodes of the Smitty and Mitty Show wherever you get your podcasts. Go beyond the scores and get to know the athletes who call the Forest City home. Game Day London brings you in-depth stories and conversations about London's major teams and athletes. Whether it's the London Knights, Nationals, or Lightning, or even your London Majors, Game Day London has you covered. For fresh and engaging sports coverage, visit GameDayLondon.com. Game Day London, a proud sponsor of your London Majors.
Jose Arias back on the mound for the Majors here at beautiful Labatt Memorial Park. Neil and I are up in the Game Day London broadcast booth. The Guelph Royals with the lone hit in the ball game so far. It's been all about the pitching as expected up to this point.
And no question has been Jose Arias, 23 pitches to this point through 2 innings, 17 strikes, only 6 balls, so he's not missing the zone by much. Royals have to make contact on a lot of pitches so far.
The lone hit for the Guelph Royals in the ball game did not even leave the infield. Josh Garton hit that one hard, and Keith Candell was able to come up with the stop, but could not throw Garton out at first. Sean Riley did hit a ball hard in the center field, but it was right at Drew Lawrence.
Other than that, yeah, it's been pretty much the pitcher's duel as it lived up to the billing going into this contest.
Jose Arias will have to face the bottom of the order for the Guelph Royals. It'll be Darius Barlas, Ashton Patterson, and then right back up to the top with Connor Morrow, the leadoff man for Guelph.
Darius Barlas is one of those guys every lineup needs. He'll sit there, he'll work the pitches in the count and everything else. He'll foul off when he can, and he'll try to work you for a walk or try to work you for a mistake, and he'll find his way on base.
Barlas will look to get on base to start off this top of the third inning.
Of course, he got pushed into a little bit of duty when Justin Interessano went down with that quad injury on Canada Day, and really did an amazing job of just stepping in at first base and taking some of the load off everybody else in the infield.
First pitch, he squared around a bunt, pulled back for ball one.
Not a bad idea, especially when you see where Wright is playing at third base. He's behind the bag.
And that one will miss as well, so count moves to 2-0. Two balls, no strikes, pitch on its way. Barlas fouls that one off. Count moves to 2-1.
Barlas 23 for 110 on the year, batting .209, 17 RBIs, no home runs, but of course, he's more of a slap hitter than anything.
Here's the pitch. That one is in there for a called strike, 2-2. Arias looks in for the sign from Robert Mullen. Takes a breath out there on the mound, looking for his third strikeout of the ball game. Into the windup. Here's the pitch on the ground towards Byron Reichstein at first. Waits back, bobbles it. Now it gets past him, and that's going to allow Barlas to reach.
Barlas, the beneficiary of Reichstein, just not being able to track that one down. It took a weird bounce in front of him, and then he was trying to play the next bounce, and it didn't happen, so it just went off his glove and then off his body, and then as he tried to throw over their Arias covering the base, it just was not in time. And of course, be scored as an error. And the Royals have got their second base runner of the night.
So an E3 allows Barlas to reach, and that'll bring up Ashton Patterson, the center fielder for the Guelph Royals.
Patterson, a key member of that Silver Creeks team that won the Intercounty Junior Association Trophy last weekend. Of course, now playing with the Royals until he goes back to the University of Guelph, where he is their starting center fielder and just a dynamo on the base path.
From the stretch is Arias. Here's the pitch. That one will miss high. It gets past Robert Mullen. Moving is Barlas. Here's the throw to second base. It's a good one, but not in time. As it looked like the Majors were trying to pitch out there, perhaps. It missed well high, and Mullen couldn't hold on to it, which allowed Barlas to reach second base.
Didn't think Barlas was going to go first move in here, but you never know with the Royals just trying to, they're expecting a 2-1 ball game here. They're just trying to get some runners in scoring position and let the top of the order do the job here. Especially when you got the speedy Patterson at the plate. He could square one around and force the infield to maybe rush a throw somewhere.
So it'll be a passed ball that allows Barlas to reach second. That one will miss as he squared around to bunt.
Called out, he peeled down to third base. He did not go around as well. Counts now 2-0.
Arias looks in for the sign. As the one he wants, he'll come set out there on the mound. Barlas standing at second. Pitch to Patterson on its way in there for a called strike. So now 2-1 is the count.
Patterson surveys the infield a little more here. Wants to know where that first baseman's sitting. You might see him pull it down the first base side here. Or drag it down the first base side. Sorry.
2-1, not squaring. Fouls that one off, and the count moves to 2-2.
They had another car down there, or did somebody make a catch?
Somebody almost made a catch, it looked like. Just fell short, and ball was given to a fan.
Nice.
Young fan. So 2-2 is the count to Patterson. Arias up at 33 pitches through 2 innings plus 1 batter. Looking to get the first out of the third. Here's the pitch. That one will miss low and inside. Count is 3-2. Patterson ready in the box. Arias ready out there on the mound. Comes set, looks at Barlas. Here's the pitch on its way. On the ground, going to be a tough play for Newton. Patterson can run, throw to first, not in time. Great scoop by Reichstein. And the runners are on the corners now with nobody out.
Great at bat by Patterson and a great play by the second baseman just to keep that one in front of him. Arias, they potentially took away a run there. If that gets through, Barlas is going to score easily as he rounded third.
So that'll bring up Connor Morrow now, top of the order for the Royals, coming up in a good spot. With runners on the corners and nobody out. Arias ready on the mound. Here's the pitch. Breaking ball in the dirt. That one's going to get away from Mullen. He doesn't see it. Barlas will get in to score. Moving around is Patterson.
Big turn there.
But he'll stay at second base.
And the Royals make the most of their opportunity here in the inning.
It's going to be runs like those that are going to be the ones that are the difference makers in this one because they'll be at a premium tonight. Runs will be tough to score.
No question.
With these two on the mound, and the Guelph Royals will absolutely take that.
Of course, Connor Morrow now has a chance with the infield playing. Looks like the corners are in still.
Reichstein is in, Wright is back. Expecting a bunt perhaps here, as that one is in there for a strike. Of course, on a bunt, Wright would stick over at third base in case there's a play to be made there. Morrow didn't square on the last pitch, doesn't square here either, and it's a called strike, so 1-2 is the count.
Both pitchers have definitely established that outside part of the plate as the strike zone now, so not even look for Morrow, and that pitch went sailing past him.
Arias nods along, takes a breath. Looks in, here's the pitch, moving as Patterson, fake to break. And that one will miss, it's 2-2.
Of course, Patterson's got to be careful here. He's got to make sure it gets through the infield. He's got to freeze on the line drive and not get doubled off here.
Morrow steps out of the batter's box as Arias steps off the rubber. He looks in for the sign, has the one he wants, comes set out there on the mound. He'll peek back at Patterson. Here's the pitch. Line straight back at the screen by Connor Morrow.
Morrow right now batting .390 on the year, 7 home runs, 24 RBIs. He's been on fire of late for the Royals, and of course he struggled in the early part of the season. He was just getting his timing back and everything else because, of course, like a lot of other guys, didn't play last year when the Royals sat out last year. So now that everybody got their legs underneath them, this team has definitely got some surprisingly good hitters.
That one is in the dirt, gets away from Robert Mullen, and that's going to allow Patterson to advance to third base.
I think Arias and Mullen need to have a little chat here. Try to get back on the same page. And I think that one got Mullen in a weird spot. He's kind of doubled over here, too.
It was a sharp breaking ball that got Robert Mullen as he tried to block it and skipped away from him, allowing the runner to move up to third base. This is already the inning where Arias has thrown the most pitches in the ball game at 17 in this frame alone.
Looks like the trainer and Roop Chanderdad are both coming out to have a little chat with Mullen. I'm not sure what's going on. If he's just got winded or he got it off the shoulder or something here, it's hard to see.
Looks like he's pointing to the throat area.
It's not like the old days where they had that neck guard that would drop down with the everything else. He's got the hockey style catcher's mask. So you just think there's not a lot of protection. We got him in the neck area at all. So
Dr. Alex Colson checking him out. Got a good look at it on your screen right there. Mullen smiling as he's good. Shakes
it up. I'm not coming out, Doc. Forget it. This game means too much. Forget it. Nothing a couple of Advil and a bag of ice can't fix in between innings.
The only game this season that Robert Mullen has not caught was last Friday against the Brantford Red Sox, where he started the game at first base instead of behind the plate. He has caught every other game for the majors this season. An absolute warrior back there.
He's done a great job.
So full count here to Connor Morrow. Into the windup goes Jose Arias. Pitch on its way. That's ball 4.
Royals being patient at the plate, and that's probably the message they got from manager Dino Romero is, hey, make this guy throw a lot of pitches here. See the ones you want to hit and just keep fouling off the ones you don't like.
That is the first walk issued by Jose Arias, but everybody in this inning has been working the count very well against the Majors right-hander. And now he's got to deal with Kyle DeGrace.
17 pitches so far, and we're only 4 batters in this inning.
Arias comes set on the mound. Not moving is Morrow at first, as the first pitch to DeGrace is in there for a strike.
Grace asking where that was for the strike call there.
DeGrace went down looking in his last trip. Arias ready. Here's the pitch on its way. That one will miss low. 4-1. The 1-1, DeGrace in the air, foul territory, but that one will get up and out of play. It's a ball and 2 strikes.
Just early on that pitch, if he straightens it out, he's going to get the job done with a fly ball to the left anyways here, but just pulled the trigger a little too soon.
Arias nods along, has the sign he wants from Robert Mullen. 1-2 count. Nobody out. Moving is Morrow. Here's the pitch to Grace. Laces that one left center field. Tracking it is Andrew Lawrence. He can't make the grab. It's off his glove. He picks that one up and will look to get it in as quickly as possible. They may have a play at second, but getting in there is Morrow.
Morrow got crossed up. He thought Lawrence made the catch, so he tried to retreat back to first and ran into DeGrace almost. And DeGrace yelled him, "Turn around!" And he dove back into second as the Royals increased the lead to 2-0 here.
That ball was hit hard, and it was driven well into the gap. It was going to be a tough play for Drew Lawrence as he's frustrated out there that he could not come up with that grab. Hit off his glove and took the glove off of him.
Well, sometimes they just go on the first movement, too, as far as an outfielder, especially at this time of night when the lights are still coming up and the sun is not fully set yet. So, he probably just went on first movement and maybe hadn't tracked the ball down completely yet.
Josh Garton will dig into the batter's box. Had the first Royals hit. Hits that one on the ground. Reichstein comes up with a stop. Peeks at second. Has no play. Will go to first instead. And that'll be the first out of the top of the 3rd inning.
Good recovery by Reichstein on that play. He took his eyes off the ball long enough to look where the runners were at. And then he realized, okay, I got to make this play here at first.
So Malik Collymore will dig into the batter's box now. He's got 2 runners in scoring position with only 1 away in the top of the 3rd inning. As Jose Arias looks to work out of this jam. He's thrown 23 pitches now in this 3rd inning. He comes set out there on the mound. Takes a breath. Here's the pitch. Breaking ball. Just off the plate. 1-0.
Mullen had to reach a little too far for that one. Rob Stevenson could not give him that call as much as he tried to frame it up there.
The 1-0 on its way from Arias. In there for a called strike. It's a ball and a strike now.
Collymore batting .300 against the Majors. 2 runs, 6 hits so far in the season, 3 RBIs. We'd love to get a little knock here and bring 2 more home.
Arias ready out there on the mound. Here is the 1-1 home to Collymore. Breaking ball gets the chase he was looking for, and it's 1-2.
Collymore fills in his hole there, and he's looking down at the ground more. I think he's just trying to calm himself down enough here to get the job done he needs to do here. He needs to get either a fly ball or something through a hole here.
Arias going to look to put him away here with 1 out. A strikeout would be huge. The 1-2 pitch. Called. Strike 3. It's strikeout number 3 in the ball game for Jose Arias. He's 6 away from the major single season record, and that's a huge second out.
No question it is. Now, of course, they've got everybody's favorite, at least the Majors' favorite, Sean Riley coming to the plate anyways. That's almost like Aaron Judge booze. It's like they've seen him hit too many home runs here in the many years here that they're just like, okay, not this guy again.
Sean Riley, a guy who has put his power on full display in the IBL for quite a while. He now steps up in a great run-scoring spot. Runners at second and third, 2 out. Ready on the mound is Jose Arias. Here's the pitch. That one came in on Riley. He fights it off. It's a foul ball, 0-1.
Riley's timing feels like it's been off the last few games here. And, of course, when he's been working a lot as a firefighter and we're coaching his son Aiden's team as well, he's not been available to bat as often as he wants to than he has in past years. But he's still batting over 300 and is still definitely one of the most dangerous guys at the plate in this league.
He's behind 0-1 of the count. Here's the pitch from Arias. Fights that one off. He was late on it, and it's 0-2.
Somebody had to stop Custodio from going out to chase that ball down.
He just wants to do it all, wants to stay in it.
He wants to stay in the game. He's like, yeah, I got to stay in the game, coach. And I know there's been games where he's begged Dino Romel to put him in the lineup, even just as a DH or something, just to keep him going because he doesn't like sitting on the bench.
Nobody does, right?
No.
You want to be in the action. Jose Arias looks in for the sign. Comes set out there on the mound ahead of Sean Riley, 0-2. 2 runs already home in the inning for the Guelph Royals. Here's the pitch. Line drive, center field. Drew Lawrence trying to track that one down. He makes the grab, and the side is retired here at Labatt Park. But Neil, the Guelph Royals get on the scoreboard. They score 2 in that frame.
Royals made the most of their opportunities, capitalized on the error that started the inning and just kept steamrolling from there. A couple of wild pitches, a pass ball thrown in the mix, and it's 2-0 for the visiting team.
Well, a hard line drive into center field that Drew Lawrence just could not come up with. That allowed another run to score. So the Majors defense was kind of giving the Royals some runs in that inning, and good on Guelph, taking full advantage.
If you had to say anything has been the Achilles heel for the Majors, would it definitely be the errors this year?
It feels like it's been the Achilles heel for the Majors against the Guelph Royals in particular, because overall the defense has been pretty good this season, but against Guelph, for whatever reason, the defense struggles at times. We've seen it here and there throughout the year as well.
I'm wondering if it's just they give the guys too much credit with all the speed they've got on the team. It's just like they're trying to rush throws or something.
It's possible, because the old saying is speed puts pressure on the defense, but it's absolutely correct. You know a guy, if you're a shortstop, you're fielding the ground ball, you know that you've got Dalton Pompey running down the line, blazing speed. You're going to try to rush yourself a little bit, and that can cause you some problems. Yeah. Right? Against Guelph and against Welland a couple times this season, we've seen the defense falter just a little bit, and those are 2 teams that do have some speed.
No question they do, and it's just, it's like you said, they put the pressure on the defense. They got to get rid of that ball in a hurry. They think like what Bo Bichette's been working on with the Blue Jays this year is that 4-second in and out of the glove and across the diamond.
Now we see Jackie Acevedo in the chat asking if the field is a little slick, because Drew Lawrence in the outfield slid quite a bit chasing down that fly ball. Neil, I have the chance to play on this field, the great fortune of playing on this field frequently when I play my games, and it gets pretty wet as the night goes on. Like, you are slipping and sliding out there, and that's likely what happened to Drew Lawrence out in center field. You don't feel it if you're playing the infield, but when you venture out into the outfield or even on the infield grass, like, you're having a hard time staying planted at times.
No question. That could just be another factor as well as his game as well. We'll have to see as the night goes on if anybody else has the same problems or just Lawrence. Like I said, he could have just was trying to go on first motion and as far as off the bat and everything else, and maybe just didn't track it down quick enough.
And the grass is something that a lot of people don't really think of when they talk about defense for teams and the way they're playing. If somebody's slipping and sliding on the grass, I mean, that's a factor. The grass plays a role in how you play defense.
Of course, the ballpark here just looks immaculate at all times. So it's just like, I wouldn't be surprised because if we were playing at Hastings Stand, the ground's probably going to be almost like a cement brick right now. At places just because we've got a lawn watering ban and going everything else. And I'm pretty sure the Parks Department has been following that to the letter of the law as well, because they don't want to be the ones getting out there and getting in trouble by everything else too. So yeah.
Claudio Custodio back out there to face Keith Candell here in the bottom of the third inning. That one will miss for ball one. Majors still in search of their first hit of the ball game. They trail by 2 after Guelph scored a pair in the top half. Breaking ball drops in there for a strike, and the count is 1-1.
That was more of, I think, of a redemption pitch from Custodio. Say, okay, you don't want to swing at that first one. I'm going to throw you on a breaking ball high in your zone here, and you're going to lay off it. Just because you're not going to swing.
Swing and a miss right there from Keith Candell as he did chase. 1-2. Into the windup. Here's the pitch. Candell pops that one foul. Count will remain at a ball and 2 strikes.
That one just didn't break enough, and Candell almost hit a mistake. Interesting to see where the Grace lines up for this one.
Here's the pitch. Candell fouls that one off, and the count remains a ball and 2 strikes. Candell making sure the batter's box is to his liking. Into the windup. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 3. We've got 1 away now in the bottom of the third inning.
Custodio wins that battle just because he knew where Candell likes to hit. He got it slightly elevated in the zone there, and Candell couldn't lay off it.
So Gibson Kreminski will dig into the batter's box, switch hitting infielder for the Majors. Batting from the left side against the right-handed pitcher, Claudio Custodio.
Gibson's got a .268 average so far, 1 home run, 19 RBIs on the season.
Into the windup, here's the pitch. Kreminski takes that one for a called strike 1.
Be interesting to see as the Majors turn the lineup over if they make an adjustment at the plate, or as Custodio makes the adjustment here and changes his timing on his release point.
That one misses, I'm going to guess upstairs, and it's a ball and a strike. Not a bad pitch by any means from Claudio Custodio right there, but did not get the call from home plate umpire Rob Stevenson. Nodding is Custodio. Here's the pitch. Kreminski fouls that one off. It's 1-2. So another 2-strike count here for the Majors. Custodio with 5 strikeouts through 2 1/3 innings. As the sign he wants into the windup, here's the pitch. Just off the outside, it's 2-2.
Good patience at the plate by Kreminski here. Most guys would have probably lunged at that pitch and just looked silly. He got a good read off the hand on the release point and just let it go.
Custodio shakes off to Grace a couple of times. Now gets the sign he wants into the windup. Here's the pitch. Kreminski swings through that one. It's strike 3. It's the 6th strikeout for Claudio Custodio.
You know, of course, Royals fans were always joking once Custodio broke the strikeout record this year, he's going to get 200. I'm like going, well, came into action. He needed 19 tonight. I didn't think he was going to take it seriously here.
Drew Lawrence will dig into the batter's box for the Majors.
But I think this is going to be one of those records, unless the league stays at 42 games, that nobody else is going to touch for a while.
No, I don't think so, as Custodio gets ahead of Drew Lawrence 0-1. Custodio so far ahead in the record compared to what it was at 156. Now he's at 181 coming into this game. 6 more punch outs. That's 187.
Yep.
I mean, that is the only guy who could probably touch that is him.
I think that might be the only guy. And, honestly, I'd be surprised if he's back next year. Somebody's going to scoop him up. So just to put him down in a minor somewhere. Like, he's just that good, even though, I think the biggest knock against him is he doesn't have that third dominating pitch. That's probably why they sent him back or released him at one point. But that fastball, that off-speed stuff he's got there is dangerous.
So a ball and 2 strikes is the count now on Drew Lawrence. Custodio looking to strike out the side in the bottom of the 3rd inning. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Custodio's got 7 punch-outs through 3 innings of work here at Labatt Park. He's held the Majors scoreless. Guelph leads 2-0. You're watching the Majors and Royals on MajorsTV.
Lawrence looked like he's hurt.
Do you know where your food comes from? Like where it really comes from? It comes from farms, farmers, and their families. At Healthy Eats, we believe if we wouldn't serve it to our families, we wouldn't serve it to yours. From farm to folks, we do things the way they're meant to be.
Here we go.
Believe me, you've never heard a talk show like this.
I'm sleeping with Joe Carter. By the way, Joe did not touch them all.
Yeah. I have to say, like, your voice is fantastic.
Meet Smitty.
Listen, I'm the brains here.
And Mitty.
And I'm the good looking funny one.
This is the Smitty Mitty Show.
Catch new episodes of the Smitty and Mitty Show wherever you get your podcasts. Go beyond the scores and get to know the athletes who call the Forest City home. Game Day London brings you in-depth stories and conversations about London's major teams and athletes. Whether it's the London Knights, Nationals, or Lightning, or even your London Majors, Game Day London has you covered. For fresh and engaging sports coverage, visit GameDayLondon.com. Game Day London, a proud sponsor of your London Majors.
Welcome back to Labatt Park as the final runners finish running the bases here.
That's always my favorite part of this, when the kids get the chance to run the bases, because, it's something they're going to talk about probably all the way home in the car ride and maybe even the next day to their buddies. And when that happens, more of their buddies show up the next game.
Absolutely, and they can tell their friends, especially if they finish in first place, hey, I won the base running race at Labatt Park. As you may have seen on your screen, Andrew Case had his son run the bags out there.
Can't say nothing but positive things about Andrew Case and, of course, the entire Case family. They drove here from New Brunswick when they came out, after he got signed. So him and his wife drove out. The kids came out a couple days later, and it was just such a great thing to see. And, of course, Andrew is the ultimate dad out there. He's always trying to get the kids. He'll go between innings and just go check on the kids with the mom and everything else, and just hangs out with them, has some fun with them. Of course, anytime they get a chance to run the bases, sure as heck they're out there. And, of course, in Guelph, Jordan Ambro always leads the charge out there. Josh Garton almost beat him the other night, so we'll see how the finals. Yeah. We'll have to see how the final rundown goes tomorrow night, of course, in the big showdown at Hastings, the last home game of the regular season, of course, and it's been an amazing season at home for the Royals, too. 18-2 at home. It's just, I don't understand it. It's just, but it's that Hastings crowd. They get behind these guys, and it doesn't matter what the score is. They're going to find a way to claw back into a ball game.
Majors have one of those 2 wins for an opponent at Hastings City. We'll take this moment to remind you to follow the Majors on social media. You can find the Majors on TikTok, on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and of course right here on YouTube. If you're not subscribed, we strongly recommend that you subscribe to our YouTube channel. We're up over 850 subscribers and growing. And of course, follow the Majors' new TikTok page that has been out since April. Growing quite the fan base over there as well. And social media has been so key to the growth of this league over the past few years.
No question it has been. I remember when the Royals were one of the first ones to actually have a Twitter page and everything else, and the guys are like, what's a tweet? And everything else. Now it's just like an automatic, almost like you go check the tweets almost every half inning or something as far as that stuff goes.
So Justin Interessano will dig into the batter's box here for the Guelph Royals. Interessano is 0 for 1 on the day. Grounded out to Jacob Newton in his last trip, and it was a great play by Jacob Newton, if I do recall.
It was indeed. He went to his left and just kept the ball in the infield, and then had the clairvoyance to just, hey, wait a minute, take a breath, throw across the diamond.
Jose Arias going to look for a bounce back inning here. The first pitch to Interessano was in there for a called strike one.
Of course, if you're the Royals, you just want to keep waiting out Arias here and hope for another mistake.
Arias into the windup, the 0-1 home, cut on and missed by Interessano. It's 0-2.
Interessano 23 for 78 on the season, 294 average. No home runs this year, but 13 RBIs. Like you said, he missed a good chunk of the season, first with COVID protocols. I guess somebody at work had got COVID, so he had to sit out for a few games and everything else and isolate. And, of course, in July 1st, the Canada Day game against the Kitchener Panthers, he hit the base a little awkwardly and strained the quad a lot, so he was out for a little bit over a month with that as well. As he goes down on strikes and there's out number one here.
That great pitch by Jose Arias, a swing and miss generated by the Majors right-hander as he strikes out Justin Interessano. Jose Arias now at 4 strikeouts. He is 5 Ks away from the single-season Majors record as he inches ever closer to that at 57 pitches through 3 1/3.
What's your take on the 42-game season so far, Dylan? I know this is the second time the league's actually tried it. This year, actually, we've been kind of blessed. We didn't get a lot of rainouts.
I've really enjoyed it. I'll be honest, Neil. I enjoy the added games. Ethan Hammond digs into the batter's box, takes the first pitch outside. And I think that the more games you add, the more likely players are going to be to come to the league as well because they want an extended season, something that'll take them through the entire summer, as it's now 2-0 on Hammond. So I've really enjoyed the change personally. What about you?
Well, considering I've been in pretty much every ballpark except for Welland and Barrie this year, it's been kind of fun. But yeah, it is at the same time, it's just been it's nice to see the extra ball games. It's nice to see the league so close as it is, especially in the last week of the season. Of course, you can't ask for anything else. And it comes down to the last weekend of the season. That's what baseball should be all about as far as the pennant race goes, anyways. But yeah, there's been nights it's like, man, I cannot believe we got 3 more games this week.
Yeah, it's certainly been a jam-packed schedule this season as Ethan Hammond is well ahead in the count, 3-0. Here's the pitch on its way, and that one will miss for ball 4. Goes right to the backstop. Mullen has to get on it quickly in case Hammond wants to go to second base, but has no real intention of taking that extra 90 feet.
No, it looks like he's just going to take off his, I guess, shin pads or whatever that is, that pad that's down there on his leg, and then happily take his way to first. Of course, Hammond was the Royals nominee for Rookie of the Year this year. Of course, what can you say? He had a great year so far. So definitely a worthy candidate. I'm going to be interested to see who actually is the nominees for each of the teams in the IBL. Of course, the managers and general managers. Well, making those selections this weekend. They have to be in the Herb Morale, I think, for Monday at lunchtime or something like that. So
here's the first pitch to Darius Barlas. That one will miss high for ball 1. Arias has now issued 2 walks in the ball game.
And, of course, then the question comes down to the MVP ballot and everything else. You only can nominate 1 player per each team. So a team like London, who do you pick?
That's a tough one, as that one will miss. There are a lot of deserving candidates, and that includes the man on the mound and the guy going out to see him right now. Jose Arias has had a phenomenal year for the Majors. Robert Mullen tops in the league in batting average, and he's hit so many home runs. And you can't forget about Cleveland Brownlee.
No, you can't either. It's just like, I don't envy Rupert Scott trying to have to make that decision there on that one. It's just like, and at the same time, I can see Cleveland being that guy to say, hey, keep me off the list. Give one of the other guys a shot at this. But, it's just, It's an unfortunate way it works as far as that ballot process goes, but at the same time, it's just like that just recognizes 3 guys on this team that just have been lights out.
So Mullen goes out to the mound to try to settle Arias down, and that one will miss. So Jose Arias has thrown 7 straight balls, 4 in a row to Ethan Hammond, and now the first 3 pitches to Barlas have missed after striking out Interessano on 3 pitches. 3 balls, no strikes. Here's the pitch. That one's in there for a strike. 3-1.
Barlas taking all the way here. Probably will even take one more here just to see if Arias has found the strike zone once again.
Arias a quick throw over to first. Back with a dive is Hammond.
Hammond's got a very conservative lead over there. Not too many footsteps off the base path yet.
3-1 is the count. Here's the pitch. Barless will send that one a ways down the line, but that is well foul. And the count is 3-2.
I have to text somebody down, make sure we hit the car, get hit.
That's more in your direction.
Yeah, that's more our area back there. We're back in the, I think we're in the second row in the back there somewhere.
That last foul ball that I asked you about, it was closer towards the Roy McKay clubhouse, the old Majors clubhouse here at Labatt Park, but that foul ball was more towards the back of the parking lot.
The first time I was here at this ballpark, and that's many years ago, 1993 to be exact, but that's okay. The Majors are actually still using it. I had to go get an extra lineup card from Arden Eady that year, and he scared the heck out of me.
Here's the pitch on the move is Hammond. Candell only has one play. It's to first. Fires a strike to Byron Reichstein, and that'll be the second out of the fourth inning. Royals put the runner in motion to avoid the double play, and it works to perfection. Hammond gets into second base. There is an out recorded as Barless is out at first.
And Ashton Patterson will be the batter now.
Patterson 1 for 1 in the ball game. Singled on a ground ball to second base in his last time up. It was another good play by Newton, just couldn't get the speedy Patterson in time. And a good job in that last at-bat by Jose Arias after falling behind 3-0, throwing 3 straight strikes and getting out of that at-bat. The first pitch to Patterson will miss well up and away. Mullen nearly dropped it, but able to hold on.
That one just spun out of his glove, weirdly out. It was just seeming like it just kept going.
Never stopped spinning.
Nope.
Patterson, the number 9 hitter for the Guelph Royals, going to look to drive home that runner from second base. A base hit could do it with Hammond over at second.
Of course, Patterson in a limited role so far with the Royals. Like I said, he's playing with the Silver Creeks most of the season. He's 8 for 19 so far. 421 average, 2 RBIs. He watches that one for a ball again, and it's 2-0.
Patterson, one of the guys who could be a Guelph Royal in the future full-time.
He did graduate from the Silver Creeks this year, so definitely be looking for more playing time next year in the 23 seasons roster.
Pitch is in there for a strike, so Arias falls behind 2-0, gets back in the count now. It's 2 balls and a strike to Patterson. Jose Arias readies out there on the mound. Takes a peek back at second. Here's the pitch. Low for ball 3.
Patterson trusts his hands there and just let that one go below his knees. And Arias is just having a problem finding the strike zone right now. If you don't know if it's just too hot out there, he's just not getting in that rhythm he's been in so many times this year or what, but it just seems like he's a little bit angry at himself out there right now.
3-1 is the count to Patterson. Here's the pitch on its way. That one will miss for ball 4, so it's another walk in the inning for Jose Arias. Something we're not quite used to seeing from him.
3 walks so far this evening, and to go with the 4 strikeouts, but yes, not something you've seen a lot this year from him.
He'll walk his fair share of guys, but typically it's not 2 in an inning, and 3 so far early on in this ball game. Pedro de los Santos was in the Majors bullpen about an inning ago, loosening up, just throwing a little bit. De los Santos normally a starter, but in the bullpen right now.
Especially the weekend and the importance of this weekend. I'm pretty sure it's all hands on deck and be ready to go at any time here.
Here's the pitch from Arias. That one will be in there for a called strike 1. Arias going to look to record the final out of this top of the 4th inning. He's got 2 runners on base. Here's the pitch that is popped up, foul territory. It will get out of play despite the looks from Mullen and Reichstein. 0-2 the count.
Connor Morrow batting .390 heading into action tonight. 7 home runs, 24 RBIs. 34 for 87, like I said, off the top. He had a slow start to the season, but once he got his legs and his hands back underneath him, he was hitting laser beams all over the ballpark and out of the ballpark.
0-2 count. Candell creeps behind Hammond at second base. Here's the pitch. Hammond not running. Breaking ball just off the outside. Arias didn't get a chase either from Morrow, and the count is 1-2. One ball, 2 strikes, 2 out. Arias peeks back at second.
Candell steps in a lot further there.
And now Arias will step off the rubber and give a look back to second base. Arias ready on the rubber. Here's the pitch. Outside corner, strike 3 called. Jose Arias gets a strikeout to get out of this top of the 4th inning. And he sits 4 strikeouts away from breaking the Majors single season record as the Royals put 2 runners on base, but Arias did a good job escaping.
He definitely did the job he had to. He bailed himself out there, and that'll hopefully pay off dividends if you're a Majors fan. Royals, of course, just, been stranding a small village once in a while on the base paths themselves all season long, so they'll find a way, hopefully, in a later inning to get another one across.
Cleveland Brownlee has rallied the troops outside the Majors dugout as it's been 9 up, 9 down for London so far in this ball game. Daniel Gore giving some claps as the Majors head into the dugout. It'll be the top of the order for the Majors, and that's kind of where you want to be if you want to start a rally. You've got Jacob Newton leading things off. He'll be followed by Taylor Wright and then the big man, Cleveland Brownlee. So if there's a time for the Majors, if there's a spot in the order that could ignite a rally, it's this one.
No question it is. At the top of the order, you got to get something done here. Be interesting to see, like I mentioned before, Claudio Custodio likes to, a second time through the order, he'll adjust his release point, his release timing a little bit. He's, of course, Jeffrey Nunez does the same thing here. He'll actually delay the release a little bit in his wind-up a little bit just to throw the batters off, throw them a different look.
If you're able to pull that off, that's awesome because it's so difficult as a hitter to hit that. The only issue is at times when you vary your release point, then you start to throw less strikes. But it seems to be working pretty well for Claudio Custodio this season. We'll take another look now at the out-of-town scoreboard here in the Intercounty Baseball League tonight. As mentioned, Kitchener is in Hamilton. As it's not loading on my screen here. Picked the wrong time to do that.
Uh-oh.
Eric Collins, public address announcer, saying that it is 4-3 Kitchener at the moment.
Toronto and Brantford, looks like it's no score so far.
So some tight ball games on this Friday. Yes, no score in the top of the 4th as it just now loads in on my screen. Between the Maple Leafs and the Red Sox, reminder that if the Maple Leafs win that game, they secure home field, in the first round of the IBL playoffs. That would lock them into 4th place. And if you're a Blue Jays fan, you're having a great night. The Jays are up 3-0 on the Yankees in the bottom of the 6th. Kevin Gausman has been terrific. And so has Claudio Custodio, who goes into the windup to face Jacob Newton for the second time, and he will swing through that one for strike 1.
Newton took a very solid hack at that one, looking to put some charge into that one.
Here's the pitch. That one will miss, and it's a ball and a strike.
I think Custodio is just trying to establish another pitch and another spot of the strike zone here.
Here's the pitch. Newton on the ground towards second base. On a hop, it's Barlas who will throw it on to Interessano, and that'll be the first out of the 4th. So Taylor Wright, who was the first strikeout victim for Claudio Custodio, will dig into the batter's box now for the Majors.
Wright batting .393, 5 home runs, 21 RBIs so far on the season. Of course, like you said, he went up to the Frontier League for a bit and got a little taste of what professional baseball was like before returning to the Majors.
The pitch is fouled straight back by Taylor Wright. It's 0-1.
course, Wright got the pitch a little bit in that blowout against the Kitchener Panthers on Sunday, and I was upstairs. I was just like, I was getting confused with all the changes at the end there. I was like, Cleveland Brownlee's playing third base. It was just like, what's going on here?
That one will miss. And I told you before the broadcast, Neil, Cleveland Brownlee has been lobbying Roop Chanderdad for quite a while. He's saying every time during batting practice, let me play third base. You see in this, Roop, look at this as he's fielding ground balls over there. And finally, Cleveland got his wish and got to place him third in an IBL ball game.
When the ball got hit to him, I was just like, please make him field it, please. Like, don't get hit by it. Don't get hurt.
Yeah, the last thing you want to do if you're the Majors is see Cleveland Brownlee get hurt, having some fun playing third base.
Yeah, and Keith Candell actually closed out the ball game on the mound.
That is the third time in Keith Candell's career that he has closed out a game, has one save to his name. All three of those pitching appearances, he's only pitched 3 times in the IBL.
Yep.
All 3 have come in the past 2 years. He closed out a game against Hamilton last season, got the save. Closed out a game against Barrie, I believe, as well last year.
Yep, I remember that one because he was bragging about it on Facebook.
And then, of course, he closed out the one against Kitchener on Sunday. Here's the 2-2 to Taylor Wright. That's in the dirt. It'll get a ways away from Kyle DeGrace, but no big deal. Nobody's on, and it's not ball 4. So 3-2 is the count to Taylor Wright.
Custodio at 47 pitches at this point into the 4th inning. So, yeah, he's definitely been conserving those pitches here as Wright hits this one into the air. Not that deep. Patterson's going to camp underneath this one. Makes the grab, and there's 2 away.
That one was hit very high off the bat of Taylor Wright into center field, and Ashton Patterson placed perfectly to make the grab there for the second out, and Cleveland Brownlee will step into the batter's box once again with 2 outs in the inning.
If there was ever a time for Cleveland Brownlee to lead the charge, tonight this bat and this tonight might be the chance to do it right now. As far as showing the Majors, hey, we're still in this ball game here.
Majors would absolutely love to see Cleveland Brownlee do something big right here, at least get them into the hit column. As Custodio goes into the windup. And did Brownlee go? Yes, he did. He's not happy. He's saying that's the second time tonight.
Yep, he's not happy with the umpires, and he's not as happy-go-lucky himself tonight. I think he's just taking the pressure a little too much, and he's got to relax. Those are the rest of the Majors. He's got to relax, play the game. They've been playing so well all season long here.
Into the windup goes Custodio. No balls, 1 strike. Here's the pitch. Brownlee in the air, right center field. Moving to his right is Garten. Now tracking back a little bit. He's got that one, and he'll make the grab to retire the side. We're through 4 complete. It's been 12 up, 12 down for London at Labatt Park as the Guelph Royals lead the London Majors 2-0 on MajorsTV.
My name's Tiffany Creasy, and I take care of the sales and marketing at Rickard Promotions and Recognition. Some of the things that we do at Rickard Promotions and Recognition is we bring your brand to life. We kind of put your logo on anything that you can give away or brand, and we can service clients right across Canada. At Rickard Promotions and Recognition, we can take care of your designing of your logo for any artwork that you need done for the branding. And a lot of people don't realize we can do that here. We also have our in-house production that we take care of your order from start to finish right here at our one location. So with keeping everything in-house from graphic design to in-house production, we're able to get you your order a lot quicker with faster turnaround time. We'll help gather your ideas together, give you some options to kind of narrow down the search for you, whether it be from your apparel to promotional products. And from there, we'll get your mock-ups done, proofs done, order done, and the quality control is right there all along the way for you.
So tell me where it hides. I know I got some lightning. Currents running through me. I found that silver lining on the inside of me. Yeah.
Welcome back to Labatt Park. Robert Mullen, Jose Arias making their way onto the field right now as the Majors trail the Guelph Royals 2-0. And you see goose eggs all around for the Majors. No runs, no hits in the ball game so far. Claudio Custodio has been on his game.
No question he has been, and, it's been one of those nights where he just seems very dialed in. He's just ready to put the weight of the team on his shoulders on the mound here and let them ride on his back all the way through here. Hopefully, if you're a Royals fan, that continues. If you're a Majors fan, it's going to be, okay, we got to get these troops rallied back here and get something going somehow. A bloop, a blast, a bleep. Something like we used to say that. And I don't know if they still say that or not, but that's what we used to call it.
The Majors just need something to get them going here. And whether that's a big defensive play this inning or whether they have to wait till the bottom half when they can get back on the bats, they need something to ignite a rally and loosen up a little bit, relax a little bit. As some throwing in the Majors bullpen, Daniel Gore, Braden Farrington, both up, tossing lightly. Nobody really warming just yet.
No, I think they're just more staying loose in case Roop decides to say, okay, we got to get somebody up in a hurry here. But this stage in the ball game, I think you're going to ride your starter here a little longer.
So Kyle DeGrace will dig into the batter's box to face Jose Arias to lead off the top of the fifth inning. It'll be DeGrace, Garten, and Collymore for the Guelph Royals. Here's the pitch. Outside corner, strike one. DeGrace thought that might have been too far off the plate, but the home plate umpire, Rob Stevenson, thought otherwise. Into the windup, here's the pitch. DeGrace fouls that one off. It's 0-2.
Of course, DeGrace knocked in the second run of the Royals inning in the third with that single to center field.
No balls, 2 strikes. Breaking ball did not catch enough of the plate. Arias looks in. Into the windup. Here's the pitch. Outside corner, called strike 3. Jose Arias with another strikeout for the Majors. That's number 6 in the ball game. He sits 3 strikeouts away from breaking the Majors' single-season strikeout record.
Going to bring up Josh Garten, who's batting .302 on the season. He's 1 for 2 in the contest. Got a single in the first inning. Unfortunately got stranded there.
Josh Garten digs into the batter's box, as you mentioned, Neil, to face Jose Arias. First pitch breaking ball will miss for ball 1. Arias now up at 81 pitches through 4 1/3 innings, through 30 in the third when the Royals scored both of their runs. And boy, oh boy, I'm not sure where that one missed, but it is called a ball.
I don't think Arias even knows where that missed. He's looking to Mullins and he's looking to the umpire and not getting any help from either of them right there.
Into the windup. Here's the 2-0. Outside corner, 2-1.
Garten had a kind of a second look at that one with the plate umpire. I'm not sure why, but it's been called there all night, Josh, so might as well hit it.
2 balls, 1 strike, 1 out. Here's the pitch. Outside corner, strike 2. Garten again not happy.
Takes a step out, tries to calm himself down here. Looks at his gloves one more time and then steps back in.
Count is 2-2. Arias takes a breath. Into the windup. Pitch on its way to Garten. That one will miss. 3 balls and 2 strikes.
Garten batting .295 on the year, 7 home runs, 19 RBIs, 18 for 61. Of course, he missed a lot of action as well. With a back injury, he was sat out for most of June and a good part of July, but when he came back, he was gangbusters, just connecting with baseballs over fences in a hurry.
He's got a full count with 1 away against Jose Arias right here. Pitch hit hard to first base. Reichstein comes up with it. He'll jog over to the bag and step on it for the second out of the 5th.
Great job by Reichstein to stay down on that baseball. If most guys would have had a tendency to pull up on it, would try to block it and think it was going to take a bounce, but he anticipated the low bounce and stayed right with it and got Garten out for the second out of the inning.
That can be a tough play over at first base. It looks routine more often than not, but it's kind of an in-between one where oftentimes, like you mentioned, guys will come up and causes them problems. Reichstein stays down. Another 2 away with Malik Collymore digging into the batter's box. Jose Arias goes into the windup. Here's the first pitch. In there for a strike. It's 0-1.
Malik Collymore, another one of these guys that came to the Royals this year. Has just been another refreshing guy to see in the Royals offense here. As far as everything else, of course, he got released by the St. Louis Cardinals during that COVID protocol when they downsized a lot of minor league teams. He just didn't look like he was quite ready to finish hanging up, so he went to the Quebec League last year, set the single-season stolen base record for the Frontier League last year. Stole a few bases here as well this year for the Royals, but he's done a lot more with his bat.
Yeah, that minor league downsizing certainly hurt a lot of baseball players who were hoping to get their shot with major league organizations, but it kind of helps the IBL because you've got more high-level talent that's looking for a place to play, and Malik Collymore certainly fits into that category. The 1-2 from Jose Arias will miss outside.
Collymore 55 for 155, 354 average, 5 home runs, 36 RBIs, and when he gets on base, it's just like it's almost automatic he's going to take second. He might even take third on the same at bat.
Arias looks in. From the windup, the 2-2 home to Collymore. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Jose Arias now 7 strikeouts in the ball game. He sits 2 away from the single-season London Majors record, but the Majors are down 2-0. Majors have given up 2 runs on 3 hits. They have 1 error in the ball game. Jose Arias has been terrific so far. Just 1 earned run over his 5 innings of work, 7 strikeouts, 3 walks, and that walk number is part of the reason that the Guelph Royals have some runs on the scoreboard. We're not used to seeing that many walks from Jose Arias, at least this early in the ball game. Perhaps as it progresses, you may see a 3-walk outing if he's gone 8 innings, but so far, I mean, you don't often see Arias at 3 walks through 5.
You definitely don't, and it's just maybe it's just because the pitch count's up so high right now too. We're like 88 pitches, and we're just through 5 now. So, it'll be interesting to see how far Roop Chanderdat lets him go here.
You know that Jose Arias wants to break that strikeout record. He's 1 away from tying it. If he gets 1 strikeout, he will tie the record set by Mike Kilkenny, former Detroit Tiger and all-time London Major. And if he can get 2 more, could even happen in the 6th inning, then he would set the new Majors record.
And that's just a great accomplishment for the organization as well, too, just to see that number finally fall. Of course, 47 years, I can do the math because the same year as I was born here. So, yeah, I'm old. I get it. But as far as that goes, it's been great to see a couple of records that, over the years people have set, and it's just like you look at the record book and go, how the heck did they ever get that many? And then you realize they pitched almost every second game.
That's true. Back then, guys were throwing a lot more. And for the record,
yeah.
You're not old, Neil.
No.
I don't consider you old.
Well, thank you.
But the
Majors, I tell my kids that? They call me the dinosaurs,
Majors would love, as you mentioned, to see that record come down tonight, see Arias establish a new one. It was an exciting moment for the entire Intercounty Baseball League when Claudio Custodio set the single-season IBL record, and the Majors would love to see their single-season strikeout record go down as well tonight. And we saw the closest we've seen in a while. Julian Higuera in 2019 for the Majors got up to 97. And then this season, Owen Boone is up over 100. And Jose Arias is so close, sitting at 128.
Of course, as Alan Ross has I guess, called Owen Boone the most underrated pitcher in this league.
I'd have to agree with Alan.
Oh, no question on that one. It's just like every time you see Owen Boone in the lineup card, it's just like, oh, man, we're in for a tight one.
Boone's got one of the better fastballs, I think, in the Intercounty Baseball League as Robert Mullen digs in and takes a pitch high. He's got a lot of zip on that pitch, and he's not afraid to use it. The 1-0 comes in and hits Robert Mullen. So The Majors have their first base runner of the ball game, though maybe not in the way they would have hoped.
No, and I think that was a mistake by Custodio. He just got the release point out too far, and it slipped out of his hand.
Came up and got Mullen near the left shoulder, a little bit lower than that, and the Majors, for the first time tonight, have a runner on base as Mullen stands at first.
It's the second time Mullins has worn a ball tonight already as a batter and one as a catcher, so he's going to be wearing the Rawlings logo on his chest sometime tonight.
Starling Joseph will now dig into the batter's box, and the Majors, their offense can do damage, though tonight they've struggled against Custodio, still in search of their first hit of the ball game. As Joseph sets himself up in the batter's box, looks down at third base coach Casey David Pullum for the sign. Neil, I'd be absolutely shocked if Robert Mullen is on the move from first base. Just a courtesy look from Starling Joseph. First pitch is in there for a strike. It's 0-1.
Yeah, not too many catchers in this league will even try to go to second base. Well, Sean Riley is not a catcher, but he's actually got 3 stolen bases this year, so it's just like, okay. I remember the first one he took was like, what, Riley steals bases now? Like, what's going on here?
Just another facet to his game as that one will be fouled off. Fernando Fernandez warming up in the Majors bullpen right now. Just playing a little bit of catch.
I think Arias would definitely be coming out for the 6th inning for sure, and give him a chance to at least set the record anyways, and we'll see how it goes from there. Of course, the Majors could answer back here, and it might go a little longer.
Swing and a miss there from Starling Joseph, and he is set down on strikes for the first out of the bottom of the 5th inning.
That was a meticulous piece of pitching by Custodio there. He set that strikeout by raising the pitch every time up there. And Joseph just chased one high at the letters there for strike 3.
Custodio 8 strikeouts in the ball game. The only base runner he's allowed was the hit by pitch. As Byron Reichstein digs into the batter's box. 0 for 1 today. Had 2 home runs last weekend. 1 in Barrie, 1 in Kitchener. Those were his first 2 this season. Of course, Byron joined the team late this season. He fouls that one straight back to the screen.
It's a grand slam on Sunday, wasn't it not?
I believe it was, yeah. Talk about a big home run, my goodness.
Yeah, that was in the first inning. It was ugly fast.
Yeah.
It was 8-0 in the first inning. I'm just like, okay. Andy Leader tried to be the Shohei Ohtani that day, and it just didn't work out either way.
Here's the 0-1, cut on and missed by Reichstein, 0-2.
Major struck for 8 in the first inning and just retook first place that game.
Reichstein ready in the batter's box, looking out at Custodio, who comes set. Here's the pitch. Reichstein in the air, left center field, tracking back towards the wall, and it is caught.
Great
what a
job
play
by Ashton Patterson in the center field.
Ashton Patterson had to go a long way to catch that baseball. He leapt up and made the grab against the Railway City sign in left center field. A phenomenal play by the Royals center fielder to keep the Majors out of the hit column.
That fence doesn't look like it's got a lot of give to it either. He's going to have a mark tomorrow, but he's going to definitely like that one later.
Claudio Custodio tipped his cap to his center fielder as Keith Candell digs into the batter's box. After a long drive from Reichstein, just results in the second out. Custodio at 58 pitches through 4 2/3. Pitch to Candell will miss high for ball 1. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss from Keith Candell. A ball and a strike.
Candell, of course, a good battle in the first time through against Custodio. Fouled off several pitches to prolong the at-bat before Custodio finally got him.
The pitch is on the ground to third base. Collymore going to have to hurry. Throw to first. It gets by in Terrasano. Candell is safe at first base, and we'll see what the official score ruling is. It's going to be a base hit for Keith Candell with 2 outs in the 5th.
That is absolutely the right call there. You can't fault Collymore on the throw, and you can't fault Candell for having that much speed either. It's a tough hop, and it just Collymore got under, and he threw it as fast and hard as he could across, but Candell beat it out.
Yeah, it looked like it was going to be a bang-bang play either way, whether that ball got past Interessano or not. I thought he was safe from up here, but it was going to be interesting to see what the first base umpire called, and so I think hit is the right call, though you'd love to see Custodio go for history here at Labatt Park.
There's always another nights for that.
Absolutely. Playoffs are coming up, right?
That's true.
Gibson Kraminski will dig into the batter's box for the Majors. He's got a runner in scoring position. That's Robert Mullen at second base, and standing over at first is Keith Candell, who reached on the Majors' first hit of the ball game. That one's on the outside corner for a strike. Crowd not happy with Rob Stevenson.
Yeah. Crowd's got a short memory. It's been a strike most of the night. Well, that's okay. They got to get behind their guys and, try to take their cause up. But the volunteer umpires in the stands don't get paid for making the balls and strike calls, so they can plead their case all they want.
Time called there at the plate. Looked like by DeGrace. As Kraminski digs back in. Custodio sets, peeks back at Mullen. Here's the offering inside, just off the plate. It is ball one.
Longest inning of the night so far for Custodio, as he's battling here. Kraminski, of course, 0 for 1.
Custodio has thrown 15 pitches in the first and third innings, up at 13 right now. Here's the pitch, in there for a strike.
Now it's Kraminski's turn not to like the call.
Kraminski was okay with the first one. He realized, it's been a strike all night. It's fine, although it might have been a little off the plate. It's been getting called, and consistency is key. That one he didn't like. 1-2 is the count. Claudio Custodio has runners at first and second base with 2 out. Here's the pitch. Kraminski swings through it for strike 3, so Custodio escapes the jam, and Guelph maintains their 2-0 lead. We're through 5 here at Labatt Park. Neil Srivastava back on the call, or on the call, I should say, when we come back here on Majors TV.
Capturing emotion in every shot.
And welcome back to Labatt Memorial Park. For the top of the 6th inning, I'm Neil Srivastava, sitting in for Dylan Baker, who's left the press box for a few little minutes here as he's gone to stretch his legs. As we welcome you back inside the Game Day London broadcast booth here at Labatt Park. Thank you so much for watching on YouTube. Again, thanks to the Majors, thanks to Dylan, thanks to Matt Hitchcock and the entire production crew for letting this old guy myself live out the childhood dream of calling a game here. Honestly, it was 1993, and I looked up at this press box and went, wow, that thing's huge. And it was the first time I've actually been in a professional ballpark as a youngster way back when, but it's definitely always had a very near and dear place to my heart. Of course, behind Hastings Stadium, it will be always my favorite park, but of course, anytime I'm on the road, we get a chance to come here. We definitely like to slink in here, and of course, I want to say good night to my kids, Kellen and Nora, Kira and Grace. Hope you guys are enjoying the ballpark. Thanks for letting Daddy do the baseball adventures all summer long. So Really, really do appreciate this. I'm really going to, again, thank you to the Majors organization for letting me ride shotgun for a few innings here. As we're in a great pitcher's duel so far here at Labatt Park. The Royals up 2-0 on the Majors. Jose Arias back on the hill here. He's going to face Justin and Terrasano and the Royals shortly here. Of course, a great crowd on hand once again at Labatt Memorial Stadium in London. 2-0 is the score. With a game that's got massive playoff implications here. Should the Royals hang on to win this one, they will live to see another day and chase the pennant race all weekend long. The Majors win this when they clinch at least a tie for first place in the IBL pennant. As Arias keeps going through keeps going through his warm-ups here. The Majors do such a great job of a lot of on-field promotions between innings here, so the inning is a little slower to start here as Sean Riley would be the first batter to face Arias this inning. Riley, of course, gets welcomed once again to a chorus of boos. I'm not used to hearing that for Riley, but it's going. It's cool. It's hot. I get it. It's more out of respect than anything else. As Riley steps in to face Arias here. And we're back underway. First pitch misses outside for ball number 1. Riley's 0 for 2 in the contest. So he lines one up the middle, and that quickly takes care of that one. He's now 1 for 3, and the Royals have got the leadoff man aboard here to start the 6th inning.
Sean Riley ripped that baseball right back up the middle. Like you mentioned, he had an 0 for up to this point, and then all of a sudden just scorched it right back where it came from, and he's aboard.
Riley came into action batting .313. 3 home runs, 14 RBIs. That's not usually a Sean Riley-like number, but like I said, he's been doing a lot more work for the Firefighters in Toronto, and of course, coaching his son Aiden's team this year, so he's been limited as far as his capacity this year. But I'm sure he's trying to knock the rust off just in time for the postseason. It's been a long time since Riley and the Royals have been back past the semifinals anyways in the intercounty playoffs.
You said 2004 was the last time they made it to the finals, Neil?
Last time they made it to the finals was the last time they won it, actually, 2004. Their championship streak got killed by the Barrie Baycats the following year in 2005. The upstart Baycats came to Hastings Stadium with absolutely nothing to lose that year and upset the pennant winners that year, the Royals. Took them out in 6 games. And, of course, there were some many battles against Brantford in the semifinals for a couple years after that, but never got back to the promised land. Of course, the Royals changed ownership with some struggles with players and finances and everything else, but this year's been about a resurgence here as that one is swung on and missed by Terrasano. The count is now 1-2.
Great off-speed pitch there from Jose Arias. The bottom fell off of it, and Justin Terrasano swings right over the top of it for strike 2.
It was such a great gesture for the Royals on Wednesday night in Brantford to grab that ball and give it to Royals owner Sean Fuller. As you know, it's just a testament to, and a way to say thank you for putting this team back together. And looking for the 1-2 pitch here. Misses low, and Terrasano and the Boo Birds will be out again, questioning the calls. But yes, there were some lean years, and then I don't want to call it the 2010s or whatever you want to call it, but there's some lean years and some painful years. A 4-32 season, a 1-16 season where they pulled the plug in 2017, and then of course, when Sean Fuller took over in 2018 and 2019, he definitely tried to put the pieces back together. And of course, then he signed Dino Rommel in the offseason in 2020 to manage the team. And of course, COVID took out that year, and then last year, of course, they had to sit out because it just wasn't make financial sense last year for the Royals to operate given the attendance figures we were allowed to have in the ballpark.
It was disappointing because obviously return to baseball, everybody wanted to be a part of it, but like you mentioned, just didn't really make sense for the Guelph Royals financially with the capacity restrictions that were there throughout the season.
Yeah, no question it was. And now the 3-2 pitch again to Arellano on its way. Swung on and missed, and Arias now a strikeout away.
Jose Arias has tied the Majors' all-time single-season strikeout record, as he is now at 129 on the season, one strikeout away from setting a new mark in Majors history.
And Ethan Hammond will be the batter to face him here as he's trying to get to that new mark here. Congratulations to Jose on a great season and a great accomplishment. Royals 2 runs on 4 hits. The Majors no runs, 1 hit, 1 error so far in this contest. As that one's taken for a strike. Hammond not sure about it, but doesn't say anything. Steps 1 foot out of the box and collects his thoughts and then gets back in here. Ball called on the outside part of the plate, and Arias now a pitch away from setting the new mark. Harrison looks in for the sign he likes from Mullen. Winds up from the stretch. 0-2 pitch on its way momentarily. Misses outside for a ball. And it's 1-2.
Crowd wanted it, but that one was absolutely out of the strike zone as Rob Stevenson on that call. They are making sure that Jose Arias has to work a little harder for that strikeout to break the record.
Well, even plate umpire Jeff Rose did the same thing to Custodio that one night too. They had to go down to third base for the appeal before that one went in the record book. That one's fouled away, and Hammond continues this battle here at 1-2.
Yeah, Hammond making it difficult here on Jose Arias as he fights off a tough pitch right there. Thought he might have had the record-breaking strikeout, but not quite.
Arias adjusts his cap, adjusts his glove, toes the rubber once again here as a Major crowd tries to get the clap going behind him here to will him through the strike zone. 1-2 pitch on its way again. Misses low for a ball, and it's 2-2.
Boy, oh boy, he was close with that pitch, but definitely was a little bit low. As the count moves to 2 balls and 2 strikes on Hammond. Arias up at 104 pitches, so you know that he's given it everything he's got left right now.
I could go with a Star Trek reference, but I don't think that's appropriate right now. Big strike 3 called, and there it is. As Hammond goes down on strikes, but he's trying to plead his case, and Robert Stevenson has nothing to do with it. He walks away from Hammond. And there's the new record.
Jose Arias, a fantastic, fantastic season for the Majors, has now set the single-season strikeout record for the London Majors, a franchise that has been around since 1925. 130 on the year for Jose.
That is incredible. As Darius Barless will be the batter, he's 0 for 2 now. First pitch misses for a ball. You got to think Jose is probably in his last inning here as the bullpen's gotten a little more active in the last little bit here. Can't see him wanting to go too much past the 110 mark here. As Barless hits this one to center field, Lawrence gives this one chase, makes the catch on the run to retire the inning. Royals do strand a base runner on the leadoff hit by Sean Riley. But still lead this one 2-0 as we head to the home half of the 6th inning here at Labatt Memorial Park.
That's a tough play for Drew Lawrence in center field, racing after that baseball, and it was sinking pretty quickly. It was well hit off the bat of Barless, and he had to get there in a hurry. Was able to track that one down to make the grab and retire the side. Great play there by Drew Lawrence as the crowd has just gotten word that Arias has broken the single-season record.
That's a great accomplishment by Jose, and great to see the Majors fans rise to their feet. and salute him.
You'd think that that could be it for the start for Jose Arias tonight.
And Cleveland Brownlee just asked Claudio for the baseball, so that one's going to go into the trophy case somewhere, I am sure.
Arias at 107 pitches through 6 innings of work, 65 of them strikes. If that is all, a pretty good outing for Jose Arias, just the one earned run. The Royals took advantage of the opportunities that they were given, and that's exactly what you need to do if you want to win a ball game between two Titans out there on the mound.
No question. You got to make the most of your bounces and hope they go your way. And that's what the Royals have done so far this ball game, and a lot this season, too. It's just, they found a way to capitalize on the mistakes other teams have made. And, of course, you said the Majors seem to play against us and just seem to tighten up that little more when they play against the Royals here, committing a lot of errors against the Royals in particular, which is to be expected because they want to raise their game to that next level too, especially when you're taking on a team with a lot of talent and a lot of former names in the league as well. Oh no, the camera battery died. That's not good.
Pitcher batter cam. Not like it's important or anything. It's just our main shot.
That happens all the time.
Now, Neil, you weren't here before the game, but we had to get Matt Hiscox on the phone, who is in Niagara Falls shooting the Canada Summer Games right now.
Yep.
Because we could not for the life of us change the battery in that camera.
Oh, man. Well, yeah, it doesn't look like it's an easy thing to do. It looks like it's going to take an engineering degree to first of all, get into that.
So let's hope that we can change the battery a little quicker here, because we're going to be down a camera for a little while.
Yep. Sean Fuller calling on the cell phone, but unfortunately, Sean, I'm on the air right here. I'll get back to you when I can during a break.
Majors have bottom then top here.
That one misses inside for ball number 1. Bottom of the 6th inning, Royals leading the Majors 2-0 here. As that one's called on the outside part of the plate, and the Majors fans letting the plate umpire hear it once again here.
Yeah, that one was a breaking ball, and it looked like it might have been a little bit off the plate. And Rob Stevenson has had a generous outside corner all game long, but Drew Lawrence, after he squared around a bunt, felt that one was a ball. Good play there by Claudio Custodio.
Yes, it was. And there's one away.
Drew Lawrence nearly had that base hit with his speed, but Custodio was quick enough to shovel it over to first in time and get the out.
Jacob Newton now the batter. Definitely hits well against the Royals, as well as he's been hitting well against most of the league so far this year. One away in the bottom of the 6th here as the Royals on the defense as Newton takes a big hack at that one. If he connected in that one, that's going in the river somewhere.
He's not afraid to take a big hack at a baseball when he's got the chance.
Count is 0-1 as Custodio winds and works again. That one misses low for a ball, and the count is even at 1-1.
Newton 0 for 2 today with 2 groundouts to second base in 2 trips.
Newton swings and misses again, and the count is now 1-2. Newton followed by Wright and Brownlee should the inning go that far. As Majors just trying to get some signs of life going here. This was a ground ball to the second baseman. Barlas makes the stop, throws to first, in time for the out. 4-3 goes the put out, and there's 2 away.
Very good play there by Darius Barlas, ranging up the middle and coming up with that stop on a slide. Jacob Newton, a guy who has great speed for the Majors, and the throw to first was just in time to get Newton. A great job by the Guelph Royals second baseman.
Taylor Wright now the batter. 385 on the year. 37 for 94. 5 home runs, 21 RBIs. He's 0 for 2 in the contest. Of course, Keith Candell with the lone hit in this contest so far. As that first pitch from Custodio misses for a ball. Called in the outside strike part of the plate for strike one, and then the count is even at 1-1 again. 2 away here in the Majors half of the sixth. Claudio Custodio has definitely been wheeling and dealing tonight. That one goes inside and misses for a ball. It's now 2-1.
And that one nearly came in and hit Taylor Wright, but he was able to get out of the way of that pitch. It rung off the pad of Kyle DeGrace behind the plate and went to the backstop.
That was a strike called on the outside part of the plate there, and Wright didn't like it. He's giving words with Rob Stevenson.
That one looked like it was off the plate, and Taylor Wright voicing his frustrations, walking towards the home plate umpire, which can be a dangerous thing at times, instead of just staying in the box and letting his feelings be known.
Ball misses inside, and it's now a full count here.
Often after you get in the umpire's face like that, you won't get a call.
No, exactly.
That's close, like that borderline pitch that we just got from Claudio Custodio. I'm surprised he didn't ring Taylor Wright up on it.
It also might have been a makeup call, too, that he might have said, okay, maybe he made a point on that one, but it's hard to say. As a slow roller hit the barless, he's going to stay down on it. He'll throw to first in time. And the Majors go 3 up, 3 down here in the sixth inning. Royals will come to bat, leading this one as we head to the top of the seventh inning, 2-0.
Do you know where your food comes from? Like where it really comes from? It comes from farms, farmers, and their families. At Healthy Eats, we believe if we wouldn't serve it to our families, we wouldn't serve it to yours. From farm to folks, we do things the way they're meant to be.
Here we go.
Believe me, you've never heard a talk show like this.
I'm sleeping with Joe Carter. By the way, Joe did not touch the ball.
Yeah, I have to say, like, your voice is fantastic.
Meet Smitty.
Listen, I'm the brains here.
And Mitty.
And I'm the good-looking funny one.
This is the Smitty Mitty Show.
Catch new episodes of the Smitty and Mitty Show wherever you get your...
And welcome back to Labatt Memorial Park. I'm Neil Srivastava. Welcome you for the top of the seventh inning here as the Guelph Royals lead the London Majors 2-0 on what's been lived up to the advanced billing. It's been an absolute joy as a pitching's duel. Jose Arias versus Claudio Custodio. The Royals capitalizing on an error and a couple of wild pitches to score some runs in the second inning. That's all we've got so far. Royals have got 2 runs on 4 hits. The Majors have got no runs on 1 hit, and they committed 1 error. As Arias back out here to start the 7th inning. Of course, you just missed it. He did set the single-season record for the Majors with 131 strikeouts. As they're still scrambling around in front of me here to fix the home plate cam. So we got the wide shot for now. Looks like they had to perform open heart surgery on this camera. Ashton Patterson will lead things off as we hit to the top of the 7th inning. Patterson's 1 for 1, and he's also walked and scored a run and made a great catch in center field. As Patterson lofts this one to left field, the left fielder is going to track this one down. And there's one away. Area 6 1/3 so far, 65 strikes, 40 balls. Just the 1 earned run tonight. as Arias has got 9 strikeouts on the night to equal Claudio Custodio's mark to this point as well. As Connor Morrow fouls off the first offering from Arias, and it's 0-1. An absolute electric crowd on hand tonight, definitely behind the Majors, as they have been all season long, and it's just great to see so many people enjoying intercounty baseball on a Friday night. So that one's in there for a strike, and the count is quickly 0-2 to Morrow.
Absolutely, Neil. I mean, you love to see the crowds that we're getting here at Labatt Park this season. It's been good crowds pretty much every ball game, and especially here tonight, they know the moment.
They definitely do. They know what's on the line here. Should the score stay the same, the Royals will advance to live another day. The Majors can. That one's lined right at Reichstein, and Morrow's retired for out number 2.
Morrow hit that baseball hard, and Reichstein made a good play.
He definitely did there, and it's just right at Reichstein's glove. Like I was mentioning there off the top there, the Majors, of course, if they were to win tonight, would clinch a tie at least for first place. Of course, they have one game left against the Toronto Maple Leafs at Christie Pitts on Sunday afternoon at 2 o'clock. You can guarantee the Bushmen and company will be out in full effect. Never an easy place to win a ball game at a Christie Pitts.
No, it is not.
It's just, I don't know, there's so many things that can go wrong there. And he pops this one up. DeGrace Mullen's going to make the catch. And down go the Royals, 3 up, 3 down here in the 7th inning.
That is exactly what Jose Arias and the London Majors needed, a quick 1-2-3 inning. That reminds me of the first inning of this ball game for Jose Arias, where he was cruising along, and right there his pitch count was elevated. It was up over 100, and he got 3 quick outs to go back, to put his Majors back on offense as it's stretch time at Labatt Park.
Definitely is.
Stretch time in the press box as well. He's got to get up, get loose a little bit.
Yep.
You sit down for so long during a ball game, you forget what it's like to stand.
Well, exactly. Sometimes you just can't feel your legs when you get up in the 9th inning.
Always make a point in the 7th inning stretch to get up with the fans and just stand for a little bit, hang out.
Yep.
It's a beautiful night for baseball, Neil. I mean, you couldn't ask for a better one.
You couldn't absolutely ask for a better now. The weather's been great most of the summer anyways. Not a lot of rainouts, the occasional one here and there, but in past years, the last week of the season has just turned into okay, so-and-so's got a doubleheader this night, then they got another doubleheader later in the week and everything else. But this year, Mother Nature's actually been on the side of the baseball gods for once, and not a lot of games in the backlog this week.
We'll take this opportunity to remind you to follow the London Majors on social media. The Majors are on TikTok, run by our fantastic TikTok coordinator, Andrew Wark. Majors are on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and right here on YouTube. If you're not subscribed, we recommend that you sub to the London Majors on YouTube. You can find us at London Majors across all social media platforms to follow your Majors at home and on the road.
Again, I just want to take the opportunity while we got it here to thank you, Dylan, for letting me come down here and call a couple innings down here.
Yeah, it's been a pleasure so far.
So thanks to Matt and everybody else in the crew here to do such an amazing job. I don't know if anybody realizes how many man hours it takes to put on a broadcast like this. And London's definitely head and shoulders above everybody else in the league, and I hope that continues for you guys and everything else. But we're coming up all right in Guelph. We've got some ideas for next year and hopefully some bigger plans, and maybe, who knows, maybe we'll actually leave the little tiny press box we got and go somewhere else down the
Well, thank you, Neil. I mean, there's a lot of cameras here, a lot of cords that are run, and a great team of volunteers that are always here to set everything up with us. And you know what? You guys have a great stream in Guelph as well. Barrie, it's become such a strong suit for the Intercounty Baseball League.
Exactly, and it's just it's been great to see all the other broadcasters. You could reach out on any given night and say, hey, what are you doing? And I know we got a guy out of the box or something else. Do you mind coming down and taking this throw or everything else? I knew our owner was not going to be in the box the one night, so I jumped out of the broadcast and did a couple other things behind the scenes, but it was just great to have Patrick Melbourne came in and pinch hit that one night. As Brownlee hits one up the middle and Custodio fields it cleanly, he'll throw to first. And Brownlee's retired for out number 1 here in the 7th inning.
That is a play that not a lot of pitchers can make. Custodio, the former shortstop, as you mentioned earlier on the broadcast, Neil, getting up there, making the grab on the mound and flipping it over to first base. for the first out.
Now Robert Mullen will be the batter here. Mullen is 0 for 1. He got hit by the pitch in the 5th inning. Plus, he also took one off the neck area while he was behind the plate, too. So he's got 2 bumps and bruises again. But he's 0 for 1 in the contest. His average down to 410 on the year now.
410, eh?
Yeah, just 410, you know. As that call is out there, and the Majors fans not exactly liking the calls from Robert Stevenson, but they've been calling them all night, folks, so he's trying to keep it consistent, and that one's out there again, and Mullen can't believe that one. He points at that one and goes, we don't get that call.
Well, that looked like it was further outside than the first one. First pitch, he's
Yeah.
been calling it a strike all night, I'll give him that, but the second one, it looked like it was further off the plate, and Rob Stevenson was making no friends with the Majors.
Nope.
Not in their last trip to Kitchener, but the one before that. Majors bench was not too thrilled with him, and
I remember Starling Joseph, actually. I think it was game 2 of the doubleheader. He drew the line with the bat and somehow stayed in the game. As Mullen goes down on strikes here, and there's 2 away here.
Robert Mullen not happy with the home plate umpire, thinking, hey, that's his fault. I mean, I was put in a hole right there, 0-2, and he had to chase that pitch because when you're down 0-2, you got to protect the plate, and he feels that he was unjustly behind in the count.
He definitely was, but it's just as far as, and at this time of night, you might be seeing, traditionally in most games, the strike zone does get wide in here, but I think the Grace and Custodio are just trying to figure how far out they can go with these pitches, too.
Seems like both sides can get pretty far.
Yep. Starling Joseph now the batter. He's 0 for 2 with a pair of strikeouts. I think that was the most animated that game in Kitchener I think ever seen Starling Joseph get. He didn't swear or anything else, but he definitely tried to make his point to the plate umpire as he fouls the first pitch off here, and it's 0-1.
Yeah, usually drawing a line is a surefire way to get tossed.
Usually, you don't usually get to stay in the ball game, but maybe he had a point. As Joseph swings and misses at that pitch again, and Custodio's got him 0-2.
Yeah, Claudio Custodio just absolutely in control of this ball game right now. 84 pitches through 6 2/3 innings. And Starling Joseph, who is 0 for 2 in the ball game so far with 2 strikeouts, is in danger of getting the hat trick.
We almost got to come up with a baseball term rather than the hat trick. I don't know what we would call it, but, they had the sombrero and everything else. But it's just like, I don't know. We need a Canadian baseball term that we can start coining and start making it a thing.
Let's figure one out.
Yeah.
For next year, we want to have one ready.
Yeah, so if anybody's got any options or suggestions on YouTube, hit us up there. As Joseph goes down for the 3rd time this evening on strikes, and Custodio walks off the mound as we head to the top of the 8th inning. Royals leading this one 2-0.
Do you know where your food comes from? Like where it really comes from? It comes from farms, farmers, and their families. At Healthy Eats, we believe if we wouldn't serve it to our families, we wouldn't serve it to yours. From farm to folks, we do things the way they're meant to be.
Here we go.
Believe me, you've never heard a talk show like this.
I'm sleeping with Joe Carter. By the way, Joe did not touch them all.
Yeah, I have to say, your voice is fantastic.
Meet Smitty.
Listen, I'm the brains here.
And Mitty.
And I'm the good-looking funny one.
This is the Smitty Mitty Show.
Catch new episodes of the Smitty and Mitty Show wherever you get your podcasts. Go beyond the scores and get to know the athletes who call the Forest City home. Game Day London brings you in-depth stories and conversations about London's major teams and athletes. Whether it's the London Knights, Nationals, or Lightning, or even your London Majors, Game Day London has you covered. For fresh and engaging sports coverage, visit GameDayLondon.com. Game Day London, proud sponsor of your London Majors.
Jose Arias back out on the mound for the Majors as he is headed out for the 8th inning.
Again, thanks to Jackie for the comments in the chat. We really appreciate that. And Jackie, it was nice to chat with you while I was doing the doubleheader in Kitchener with the Majors and the Panthers. Always great to meet some of the great people who watch from wherever the places. I know the Royals broadcast. We got people from New Zealand watching. We got some of my friends watching in Auckland, New Zealand as well. So we don't even try to figure out the time zones with them. I believe they're 13 hours ahead of us. So sometimes they're watching at 4 o'clock in the morning just to hear a familiar voice.
New Zealand, eh?
New Zealand, yeah. Of course, goes back to the days when I was on Mixer and everything else and would broadcast at 5 o'clock in the morning, our time. Only guy on Mixer doing baseball at that god-awfully hour of the morning. And lo and behold, Snoop Dogg was actually on Mixer those nights doing NFL football, and he actually dropped the host on us one night.
Wow.
Or I guess it was one morning, but it was just kind of weird. I was like, nah, I can't be the right guy. And it's like, yeah, it was legitimately Snoop Dogg. I was like,
crazy.
Wow, okay.
Josh Garden will dig into the batter's box. He'll be the first man to face Jose Arias here in the top of the 8th inning. The first pitch on its way from Jose is on the ground, foul, 0-1. Now, Roscoe is asking in the chat when they will release the playoff schedule. And, Neil, I'm not 100% sure, but you'd think it'll be early this coming week.
You would think so. But again, we have to wait out to see what happens between this game, and then we have to wait out to see what happens tomorrow and, of course, Sunday. The only one that might get released in time before then will probably be the Toronto Barrie series, because that's the only one that's solidified right now.
The 0-1, Garten swings through the breaking ball. Yeah, they're going to have to figure out the seeding. They're going to have to figure out who plays who. And they're going to have to try to figure out when a tiebreaker game would happen if it's necessary.
Well, exactly.
So that's the priority for the IBL. And then once that's all figured out, once that's all sorted, they will have the playoff schedule.
Exactly. You don't want to start a playoff series when actually the regular season is still continuing, because the playoff game would actually be game 43 for whatever team's involved here. That counts towards the regular season standings as well. That Garten has a chuckle on that one.
That pitch misses the plate, and the crowd is not happy because they feel Robert Mullen got called on a few of those pitches in the last inning. 1 ball, 2 strikes for Jose Arias. Into the windup. Here's the pitch. Garten drives that one down the left field line. It's slicing, and it will get fouled. Daniel Gore, for a moment, thought about maybe trying to make a play on that baseball from the bullpen, and then thought better of it.
Yeah, he kind of leaned in, and then I think not.
The ball was coming hard off the bat of Josh Garten. He's a strong guy.
He is a strong guy. He definitely has been doing a lot of bodybuilding in the offseason, actually. So him and his, I guess, girlfriend, I want to say fiance, I'm not sure what the relationship is, but I know they definitely have workout videos on Instagram often. Of course, his daughter, Dallas Rose, of course, likes to photobomb the opportunities, and, of course, she likes to come out to the ball game and run the bases when everybody else does too, so it's always great to see.
2 balls, 2 strikes here on Josh Garten, with nobody out in the top of the 8th inning. Jose Arias looks in, goes into the windup. Here's the 2-2 home. That is blasted down the left field line again, but once again it gets foul, and this time no attempt from Daniel Gore.
With all due respect, Josh, hit it about 50 feet the other way. It's getting too close to the cars down there.
That's right, we're Neil's Park, Josh.
Yeah, come on. Pretty sure we're not sponsored by any Apple Auto Glass or Speedy Apple Glass or whatever, anything like that, so we don't want to have to deal with that.
Here's the 2-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Jose Arias gets another strikeout. He's into double digits. It's number 10 in the ball game, and he's got the first out of the top of the 8th.
You got Garten to chase something he probably normally would regret chasing there, but he got the number he needed there and got the out. I bring up Malik Collingmore now, who's 0 for 2 with a pair of strikeouts. Sorry, 0 for 3 with a pair of strikeouts here.
The pitch, and that is a breaking ball that was nowhere close to its intended target, and will come up and
ricocheted off Collingmore and went off Mullen here, and Mullen's got another bruise or a scar or whatever to call for the night.
Yeah, he's been taking a beating back there.
I just wonder if catchers just go jump in an ice bath when they get out of this ballpark or what, because it's just like they got to have aches and pains in places that most people don't even know they have. And the Majors, once again, welcoming Riley to the plate with a chorus of boos out of respect.
Well, Neil, I was coming back up to the press box for Sean Riley's last at-bat, so I was actually in the crowd walking up the stairs. The boos are loud out there.
Yeah, they are.
Like, you hear some of it up here in the press box, and we've got headsets on as well. You go experience that in the crowd. It's loud.
Quick throw over. Cullymore not going on that.
Yeah, Arias
first
throws
move
over there.
Well, they definitely know Cullymore is a threat to steal a base here. With one away, the Royals just trying to get an insurance run in scoring position any way they can here with Riley due up.
So Riley at the plate, Collymore over at first. Not running on the first pitch. Riley lines that one straight back. 0-1 the count.
Keep forgetting that screen is bigger than it used to be.
And it sounds like we have been told it's in the plans to redo the netting here at Labatt Park and extend it down the lines.
Well, probably because of the concerns they have in baseball in general. Anyways, I think they've changed the rules as far as mandates and everything else goes. We'll have to see what they're going to have to do at Hastings Stadium as well.
Well, this netting has developed some holes, and, you'll need to refresh netting every once in a while.
No question, especially when it's up all winter, too, and it's just like...
Here's the 0-1. On the move, Collymore. It's a pitch out. Here's the throw to second base. It's still not in time to get Malik Collymore, who swipes second and stands in scoring position with one out.
It didn't even look like Collymore got that good of a jump on that pitch, but just found that second gear and got there in a hurry.
So Collymore now in scoring position as Riley has a chance to drive home what would be a big insurance run to add on to the insurance the Royals already have as they're up 2-0. Pedro de los Santos warming in the Majors bullpen. Here's the pitch from Arias. In the dirt, blocked by Mullen. Good block there. Collymore eager to run, but is
that just saved them 90 feet for sure. Collymore would have been gone, no problems.
You would have made it to third base even if that got just a little bit further from Robert Mullen. Didn't even need to get to the backstop, and Collymore would have been there.
If he gets in third on that place, I'm pretty sure you have to put Riley on here.
2-1's the count, and Teresano stands on deck. Here's the pitch from Arias. Swing and a foul off by Riley. Count is 2-2. Robert Mullen decides between a few baseballs what he wants to get to Arias.
Looks like he's dusting up one himself here. I don't know if they rub them down here like they do at Hastings Stadium or not, but it looks like Mullen's calling for more baseballs here. Or asking for, more baseballs. And I know Lou and whoever's out at the front gate usually as I'm walking into the ballpark around 5 p.m. are standing there with a bucket of clay and usually have like 4 dozen baseballs. They're all standing there rubbing them all in and everything else. So, yeah, I know back in the good old days, the umpires used to do that, but now I guess just with everything else, it's easier for somebody else in the ballpark or the stadium crew to do it.
2 balls, 2 strikes. Pitch from Arias on its way. In the dirt. That one skips into the air. Mullen's on it quickly, but Collymore is able to move up to third base.
That was a good read by Collymore just to go with that pitch. When he saw it bounce in the air, he took off, and Mullen didn't have a play at all going to third. Interesting to see what the Majors are going to do now with the first base open here, and Riley doesn't run that well. Usually, the infield is in to knock it down here, but 3-2 count, you never know. Maybe they'll just go after Riley here instead.
Full count, 1 out. Collymore stands at third base. Guelph already leading 2-0. Jose Arias looks in for the sign from his catcher, Robert Mullen. Collymore swiped second base and then moved to third on a wild pitch. Arias sets. The full count offering. On the ground to shortstop. Candell gives Collymore a look, takes his time, throws to first. That'll be a huge second out.
That is a huge out and a huge run they've prevented there. As the third run might be the nail in the coffin, whatever you want to use, whatever adage you want to use here, as Roop Chanderdat is making his way out to the mound. Likely Arias' last batter here.
Well, with the lefty and Teresano coming up and the lefty De Los Santos in the bullpen, it's possible that Roop Chanderdat feels the matchup is more beneficial to the Majors. But at times, Roop will come out just to talk.
I think that's what he's doing. He's like, how you doing, big guys? I think it's more of a talk. It's not like, I need the baseball now. It's just like, no. You think you can get this guy out?
We've got a lefty up in the bullpen if you don't think you can get him out.
Yeah,
but Jose Arias will never turn down an opportunity to stay in a game.
No, most pitchers wouldn't either, unless you're absolutely gassed. But it looks like, especially this situation, you don't want the two best pitchers in the league going toe to toe here. You don't want to be the first one to lose the blinking contest.
Claudio Custodio still collecting bats for the Guelph Royals in the top of the 8th inning as Justin Interessano digs into the batter's box, a runner over at third. Interessano 0 for 3. Arias at 125 pitches. Here's the offering. Outside corner, strike one.
So they strike most of the night. So Interessano just took that one and goes back to work here.
Collymore 90 feet away from scoring the third run for the Guelph Royals in this contest. Here's the pitch. Just off.
Stevenson had a second thought about that one and didn't call it, so count is even at 1-1.
A ball and a strike. 2 away. Top of the 8th inning. Arias sets out there on the mound, looks up. Here's the pitch. Interessano in the air, foul territory. Right will give it a look. It's into the crowd and just over the grandstand. And Neil, I don't know if you could see it, but I think somebody could have reached over to make that catch.
Yeah, they could have, but at the same time, maybe if they were off balance or something, it might have been kind of dangerous too. You don't want somebody falling over the grandstand here.
Well, even sitting down, like it looked like it was
Yeah.
right over. Could have stuck your arm up and seen if you can make a great catch.
Yeah. Need some teenagers trying to impress their girlfriend up there, and then it'd be all over it.
Interessano ready in the batter's box. Jose Arias looks in for the sign. He'll come set. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Ready on the mound, Arias takes a breath. Pitch on its way to Interessano. That's going to miss up and away for ball 2.
Justin Interessano would love to get hot at this time of year here.
Robert Mullen talking to the home plate umpire about the baseballs. And Neil, I don't know if they rub them up here at Labatt Park, but I do know that the umpires come straight from the umpires room with 2-3 boxes of balls.
Yeah.
So I don't know if somebody's rubbing them up before they get to the umpires room or if it's up to the umpires to do, but they don't typically do it anymore.
Yeah. I noticed in some parks they come out with like these shiny white pearls, and I'm like going, that doesn't look right.
2 balls and 2 strikes to Interessano.
And I've seen a lot of pitchers this year complaining about the baseballs, a lot more than usual.
2-2 home. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. Justin Interessano is set down on strikes, but there is more work to do for the Majors as they still trail by 2 after 8 innings.
Claudio Custodio making the first one out of the dugout here again. He's going back to his happy place.
Neil, if that is all for Jose Arias, and we've been saying that a couple of times tonight, but if that's it, I mean, a terrific outing.
He did what your ace is supposed to do. You kept your ball club in there as long as he could. Yeah, he was a victim of circumstance on a couple of pitches. The error that started that inning off, and then the wild pitch and the pass ball. But it's just, as far as that stuff goes, it's just, hey, that's baseball. Sometimes the breaks go against you.
Just the polar opposite sides of Arias' outing tonight. 3rd inning, threw 30 pitches.
Mm-hmm.
In the 7th inning, he threw 5.
Yep, like it was just
one bad inning.
Exactly, and sometimes that's the difference in a ball game, unfortunately. It doesn't even have to be that bad of an inning.
Yeah, I mean, for Arias, if you're speaking strictly about his performance, he was executing his pitches in that inning.
No question he was. It's just unfortunately the Royals were waiting him out and everything else. He didn't get a couple of calls that maybe he thought he should have, and that frustrated him to prolong the inning a little longer, and he got a pitch up to the Grace that the Grace put in the outfield that Lawrence was unable to track down. But other than that, it was the error at first that got the runner aboard to start the inning. A wild pitch got on to second base. I believe it was a pass ball. I can't remember which one it is. I don't have it in front of me. But yeah, it was just a couple of untimely mistakes behind him.
Well, let's take a look at the out-of-town scoreboard once again. The Kitchener Panthers are up 5-3 on the Hamilton Cardinals in the top of the 8th inning. That game of no real consequence to both sides, aside from records and pride, because Kitchener is locked in 6th, Hamilton is locked in 7th. And Toronto is up 5-2 on Brantford in the top of the 7th inning at Arnold Anderson Stadium. The Maple Leafs with a win clinch 4th place and first round home field advantage. And in Major League Baseball, the Toronto Blue Jays have beaten the New York Yankees by a score of 4-0. Kevin Gausman, 7 scoreless, 7 strikeouts for the Jays.
The Yankees' woes continue this week. If not for that Donaldson grand slam in the 10th inning, they're looking at a rough week.
Absolutely. The Majors have 2 games remaining this season, if you include this one. And they would love to take this contest if possible. It's an uphill battle as they face Claudio Custodio, who has been locked in 86 pitches through 7 innings. He's given up 1 hit, and it did not leave the infield.
Yep, and it was just in a lot of social media pundits out there rallying, trying to get that one reversed by the official scorer. But, you know, it's from our vantage point, it looked like one of 2 things happened. You got to give it to Candell because he beat it out. Or because, you know, it's just as far as the throw and everything else. You can't fault Collingwood. He got the ball as fast as he could. He threw across the diamond, and it's just like hard to say. It was a bang-bang play at first. Umpire is looking for a certain thing. He's either looking for the contact on the base or he's looking for the contact on the glove.
The count is a ball and 2 strikes here on Byron Reichstein, who chased a pitch low and then took a pitch on the inside corner.
And from our vantage point, it looked like Candell beat it out.
It did. 1-2 into the windup. Custodio. Here's the pitch. That's high. 2-2.
Reichstein, no stranger to Royals fans and breaking Royals hearts many, many times here. So
here's the pitch. Just off the plate inside. Count moves to full now. Custodio thought he might have had strike 3.
It's been harder to get the inside call all night here. It's been easier to get the outside one. So maybe the Grace and Custodio need to go work on this one.
Full count offering. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. Claudio Custodio with another strikeout in this ball game. Make it 12 on the night.
What a crazy night. Great two pitchers, both had 12 strikeouts tonight. They left it out in the field. That's the best way you can put it.
Custodio likely with more to give still. He's at 92 pitches through 7 1/3 innings. He's going to want the 9th if he can get it.
Andrew Case stood up down there, but it looks like he sat back down in the bullpen. So it's Custodio's game right now.
Custodio looks in for the sign. Into the windup he goes. Here's the first pitch to Keith Candell. Swing and a miss. Strike 1.
Unfortunately, we don't have the luxury of replays. We'll have to go back and watch it after the fact here. But, yeah, that play has definitely been lighting up my phone anyways, so we'll see here.
Candell now behind in the count 0-2 against Custodio.
The official scorer has got probably the most difficult job in any baseball game.
Candell fouls that one back. Yeah, decisions that could cost a guy some average points, that could cost a guy some ERA points, and right now, I mean, the one hit stands out as potentially costing a no-hitter.
And it's just like, it's hard to say. Like, we went through that situation in 2019. At the bottom of the 8th inning, Kevin Atkinson hit one down the third baseline. I thought for sure it was like I was going to rule it an error, but then the third baseman's waving at me. No, he was pointing at his glove, like his fault.
1 ball, 2 strikes, 1 out. Pitch to Candell. Drives that one right center field. Chasing after it. Patterson, it's going to get down. He cuts it off quickly. Going to be a close play at second base. Candell dives in safely. It's a 1-out double for Keith Candell here in the bottom of the 8th inning.
Well, that should answer that question as Candell once again comes through with his second hit of the ball game here. Candell's one of those guys I'm kind of loving to hate lately, even though he's a really good guy. Loved him when he was with the Royals. Just absolutely love chatting with him whenever we get a chance to. But now it's like, okay. As Andrew Case and the bullpen have definitely got going here in a hurry now as 5 people making their way down the line here.
The protection squad and then the guy who's going to warm up.
Yep.
So Gibson Kraminski has a runner in scoring position. Majors down 2. Candell in scoring position. Custodio peeks back at second. Here's the pitch to Kreminski. Swings through that one for strike one. Candell standing at second. One out in the inning. Kreminski at the plate. Drew Lawrence on deck.
Kreminski 0 for 2 with a pair of strikeouts.
Here's the pitch from Custodio. Kreminski takes that one off the plate inside. It's 1-1.
Custodio wanted that one, but he just adjusts his cap, or adjusts his glasses out there and looks in for another sign.
Kreminski taking his time to get back in that batter's box. He knows that Custodio likes to work quickly. He comes set out there on the mound. Candell fakes a break. Here's the pitch. Kreminski on the ground, past Custodio. Going to be a tough play. Barlas coming in on the run throw. And a good play made there by the Guelph Royals second baseman to get the second out, but Candell moves up to third.
Good read by Candell on that play. He knew that Barlas was going to have a tough play, so he stopped at third once he saw that Barlas had made contact as the ball went in his glove here, or he was going to probably have been caught in a rundown or thrown at home trying to go home here.
So Drew Lawrence steps into the batter's box to face Claudio Custodio for the third time. Lawrence has a strikeout and a ground out in the ball game. He's got Keith Candell 90 feet away at third base. Into the windup, Custodio. Here's the pitch. Lawrence checked his swing. It misses inside. They won't appeal. A ball and no strikes to Drew Lawrence.
Lawrence 3 hits on the season against the Royals.
Here's the pitch. Low, ball 2.
Custodio struggling to find the zone right now. Bottom of the 8th.
2-0 count, 2 out. Into the windup, Custodio. Here's the pitch. That one's in there for a strike. Count moves to 2-1. Into the windup once more. 2-1 home. Did Lawrence go? Yes, says the first base umpire. Drew not happy.
Not happy, and that are the Majors fans here as they're echoing down from the rafters.
Lawrence takes a long walk to gather his thoughts. A big pitch coming up on 2-2. Candell takes his lead off at third base. The pitch from Custodio. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Claudio Custodio, another strikeout.
What a job by Custodio this evening. I just cannot believe this thing. He's definitely having one of those performances you want from an ace. He's doing his job out there and just told the team to get on his back. He says, hey, I got you for 8 innings anyways. The rest is up to you.
We'll see if he's back out there for the 9th. The Majors trail 2-0 here after 8. You're watching the Majors and Royals on Majors TV.
Capturing emotion in every shot.
Welcome back for the ninth inning here at Labatt Park, and a new arm on the mound for the Majors. Pedro de los Santos takes the hill.
That's probably the right call here, as Jose Arias did his job and then some. Got the Majors 8 innings, allowed 2 runs. Only 1 earned on 4 hits. I think 3 walks on the night. 13 Ks if I'm not mistaken, unless my brain can't work that fast tonight.
11 strikeouts
11
for Arias
strikeouts,
tonight.
okay. Custodio's got 13.
Custodio with 13, Arias with 11. Great performances by both starting pitchers. Custodio may not be done just yet, but Jose Arias, after 130 pitches, his night is complete. And Pedro de los Santos will take over on the mound for London. Pedro, a guy who had a slow start to the season, but as the year has progressed, he has gotten better and better out there on the mound for London. Right now, his season ERA sits at 6.07 through 14 games, 9 of them starts. 61 strikeouts, 23 walks, and 56 in the third innings.
Just looking to keep the score the way it is. Give the Rangers a chance to come up in the 9th inning and a chance, maybe change the fate here.
Ethan Hammond will dig into the batter's box for Guelph to lead things off in the top of the 9th. Pedro will have to face Hammond, Barlas, and Patterson.
Hammond 0 for 2 with a walk and a strikeout tonight. Dropped the average down to 343.
He's been up there on the IBL average leaderboard all season long.
He has been, and he's been one of the bigger surprises for the Royals this year. When I saw him starting in left field, I figured, okay, he's going to be there until somebody else comes along and does everything else, but nobody could knock Ethan Hammond out of the lineup.
0-1 home from De Los Santos. Generous outside corner call there, and it's 0-2.
The only game he missed so far this season, I think he sat on the bench because a left-hander was on the mound.
Really?
That was it.
He's been a great bat for Guelph so far this season. De Los Santos looks in for the sign, looking to put away Hammond to start the 9th. Into the windup. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. Pedro de los Santos right out of the bullpen, and a quick strikeout for the first out.
And if you're the Majors, that's what you need De Los Santos to do here in this situation. Just get you back on the bats in a hurry here. See if they're going to let the Royals going to keep Custodio out there, or are they going to go to the bullpen for likely Andrew Case. But like right now, the bullpen has shut it down there. So I think it's Custodio's night. It might be his first chance at a complete game this year.
Looks like it might be as Darius Barlas digs into the batter's box. Lefty-lefty matchup. First pitch will miss, and the entire inning, or the 3 guys that are due up, would be a lefty-lefty matchup. Hammond, who struck out, was a lefty to face the lefty De Los Santos, and then Barlas, left-handed hitter, and Ashton Patterson as well. De Los Santos gets the sign he wants from Robert Mullen. The 1-0 home. Swing and a miss. 1-1.
Barlas seemed like he just chased the pitch out. He didn't really want to go at it, and then he kind of talked himself into it.
Ball and a strike into the windup. Here's the pitch from Pedro. In there for strike 2.
Barlas talking to himself. Didn't believe that was a strike, but again, it's been a strike all night. Now the bench is getting told to knock it off.
Both sides not happy with the umpiring behind the plate today.
I guess the Majors were one of the lucky ones not to get 4 umpires tonight.
The 1-2, did he go? Yes, he did, says the third base umpire, Bob Blake, and it's a strikeout for De Los Santos, who has come out of the bullpen and set down the first 2 he's faced via the punch-out.
Ashton Patterson asking for a little advice from Barlas as where the pitch location is, and maybe he's got a little bit of an indicator, a little bit of tip-off from De Los Santos. I believe this will be the first time Patterson's ever faced him, so somebody didn't like that. That was a helmet or something getting tossed somewhere.
Sounded like maybe a bat slam as he was putting it back in the bat rack.
Yeah.
Here's the pitch to Ashton Patterson. It's well high, up and in for ball 1.
Patterson with a great catch in center field. He also got a single and a run scored so far. Plus he has a stolen base tonight.
De Los Santos into the windup. Here's the pitch. That'll miss. It's 2-0.
Patterson trying to do the job, get the lineup back to the top here. Find a way on base any way he can.
2-0 home. That'll miss as well. So after De Los Santos pounded the zone to the first two guys and got 2 strikeouts, he's struggling here against Patterson as he's behind 3-0. De Los Santos reworks the mound out there to get himself more comfortable. Into the windup. The pitch on its way, well high for ball 4.
Patterson will take the 4-pitch walk here, and he's a danger at first base, and I hope De Los Santos is aware of that. I know Mullen is. As Connor Morrow will come to the plate here. Morrow 0 for 3 with a walk, and he struck out twice so far.
Morrow 0 for 3. As you mentioned, Neil, a couple of strikeouts. He's walked in the ball game, lined out, and he'll be looking to at least, I guess you can't really move the runner over here with 2 out. He'll be looking to get a base hit and keep the line moving.
Yeah. Maybe De Los Santos throws a wild pitch here. Patterson gets to second base and puts himself in the scoring position.
He's running on the pitch. That one's going to miss outside. Throw from Mullen is there, and they got him. A great throw from Robert Mullen. Catches Ashton Patterson trying to swipe second base and retires the side in the 9th.
Looking to see who's coming out here, and looks like Claudio Custodio is making his way out here, or is going to lobby for the chance to come out here anyways. We'll see.
Custodio headed out to the mound, and why not, Neil? He's been terrific in the ball game.
First Royal attempting at a complete game this year. I think there's only been 4, maybe 3 complete games in the league this year so far.
Yeah, I think last I checked it was 3. And I actually talked about this with my broadcast partner Noah Smith not long ago. I'm upset. I got to find who it was. I know Owen Boone has 1.
Yep.
He threw that against the Guelph Royals actually on May 23rd. Let's see if I can find it here quickly. I'm not sure, but I know that there are at least 3.
Yeah.
And Owen Boone's got 1 of them. I believe Jake Harford and Wellen might have 1 as well. But it's not overly common in the IBL this year.
No, it's not, and I think it's more commonplace even it's further and further. It's not happening much more in the majors either. You're lucky to see the same guy 3 times in a ball game now.
Absolutely.
Well, Dalton Pompey made a comment the one night when we were playing Brantford. It's like the first time he's ever faced the same pitcher 4 times.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
It's just the way baseball has become, right? Like it's
like he almost set a record. I almost faced the guy 5 times, but it was the import for Brantford they just had gotten, and it was that I think Brantford was in the middle of 6 games in 7 days or something. So pitching was at a premium. So the poor guy went out there and threw 165 pitches.
Oh my gosh.
3 innings.
I missed that game completely. My good friend and colleague Dante DeCaria, former broadcaster for the Barrie Baycats, informs me there are 6 complete games this season.
Oh, geez, I missed a few then. Thank you for correcting us.
It's always a big thanks to Dante. Always watching the broadcast, always helping out wherever he can. And it is a big bottom of the 9th upcoming for the Majors. Top of the order due up. Jacob Newton, Taylor Wright, Cleveland Brownlee to face Claudio Custodio, who is at 105 pitches through 8 innings.
You got to think Case is ready to go on a moment's notice here, but he looks like he's just finally starting to throw baseballs down there.
Pitch to Jacob Newton. He will foul that one off his ankle on the first offering from Custodio.
I think the message from the Majors bench is, hey, be patient at the plate to see the one you can hit here. But, you know, when Custodio continues to pound that strike zone with the first pitch strike, majority of the time it's hard to lay off that pitch.
The pitch to Newton on the ground, foul. He's behind 0-2.
Looks like the wall of Royals bullpen guys are up there to protect Case. 3 of them jumped on that one baseball.
Doing their job. I love to see it. Newton ready in the batter's box. The 0-2 from Custodio. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Claudio Custodio has the first out of the bottom of the 9th inning via the strikeout number 14 on the night.
I'm running out of adjectives to describe Claudio Custodio's night tonight, or even just his season in general. I'm just going to leave it as something I'll probably never see again in my generation.
He's been incredible for the Guelph Royals tonight and all season long. He's got 2 outs to get before he can record a complete game, and he's got the shutout working right now as well as Taylor Wright digs into the batter's box, 0 for 3 today. The pitch, Wright fouls that one off, 0-1.
I meant to look it up, but I can't remember the last time the Royals actually won here.
It would have to be 2019, I would think.
I don't think
the Majors are 2-0 this season at home against Guelph.
Yeah.
They won the Legacy Classic in 2020 here.
Mm-hmm. I just know you kind of.
Second pitch to right is scorched to second base. Darius Barless, a great stop on a slide. And that'll be the second out of the 9th.
Barless hung on as hard as he could there and just reeled that one in. And there's 2 away.
Custodio now at 110 pitches.
This is one of these matchup for the ages here as Cleveland Brownlee will step to the plate here with 2 away against Claudio Custodio, the worthy opponent.
So Cleveland will come in for the the 4th time tonight. If Claudio Custodio can get the complete game shutout, he would be the first guy to do so.
He would be, yes.
6 complete games, not 1 shutout up to this point, as that one is cut on and missed by Brownlee.
And you would have to go back sometime to see one in the Royals' history, as far as I would think either maybe Melody Melahays, way back when in the early 2000s, maybe the last one to get a complete game shutout.
Here's the 0-1. Brownlee lines that one, and the Majors stay alive. It's a base hit into left field for the big man.
It's going to bring up Robert Mullen, who's definitely dangerous here. And then Case looks like he's ready to go. I'm not sure if Dino Ramel's coming out to get this one or he's going to give him more a batter.
Cleveland Brownlee will be lifted for a pinch runner as Chris McQueen comes off the bench.
Custodio throws that baseball out of here. Doesn't want anything to do with that one. And Brownlee will exit to, I'm sure, an ovation here from the Majors crowd. Last regular season home game for Brownlee.
So Robert Mullen digs into the batter's box. And once again, a thank you to Dante DeCaria for providing that stat regarding the complete game shutouts. As Custodio will face Mullen.
Looks like Case is ready, but he's also looking up at something else up there, so I'm not sure what's going on down there.
The first pitch from Custodio. Called strike 1, Mullen not a fan. He's behind in the count.
Again, Custodio just doing what he does best, getting ahead of the batter here, putting the onus on the batter to be more defensive at the plate.
McQueen takes off, swing and a miss. Defensive indifference will allow him to move into scoring position.
Royals willing to concede that run if they can get the out here, or even that base runner at second base. They know they have to go across the diamond anyways to get Mullen.
Mullen taking his time. Majors down to their final strike. Tying run at the plate. Custodio at 113 pitches has been masterful. Comes set out there on the mound. Peeks back. Here's the pitch. Mullen gets a piece of that one to stay alive. It's still 0-2.
Just a little early on that pitch, but he found one he liked, and Custodio got away with one.
So 115 pitches for Claudio Custodio. He's ahead 0-2 on Robert Mullen. The pitch. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. That's the ball game. Claudio Custodio lived up to the hype tonight. A complete game shutout. It's the first in the Intercounty Baseball League this season, the 7th complete game overall. And in what was billed a battle of aces, we got just that here tonight.
That was just a remarkable performance by Claudio Custodio, and you can't discount the performance by Jose Arias as well. He was all over that too. It was just unfortunate. A couple of bad breaks went against him in that third inning that he threw 33 pitches, I believe you said, and it was just the Royals capitalized on the mistakes they were given.
Absolutely they did. The third inning was the tough inning for the Majors, where they allowed both of their runs. As we welcome you back inside to the Game Day London broadcast booth. Dylan Baker, Neil Srivastava to my left. And Neil, Guelph did exactly what they needed to do. They got runners on base in that third inning, and they took full advantage.
Exactly, and they took advantage of the hops when they got them, and that was the difference in the ball game here. The Majors couldn't get going when they needed to. They had a chance early, and it just couldn't get anything going against Custodio when they needed to.
Absolutely, and we've talked throughout the night about the standings implications in the Intercounty Baseball League. So the Majors lose tonight, the Royals win.
Yep.
What does that mean for the pennant race?
It means the Majors have to win Sunday to finish at 31-11. The Royals have an opportunity to finish at 31-11 should they win out their next game against Brantford tomorrow night and they win in Kitchener on Sunday.
So still very, very close as the season winds down. The Majors are back in action on Sunday at Christie Pitts in Toronto to take on the Maple Leafs as they push towards the pennant and look to win it, or potentially at least clinch a tie on Sunday with a victory in Toronto. We thank you all very much for tuning in. We'll be back at some point next week, whether that's for a playoff, one-game playoff, or the first round of the IBL playoffs here at Labatt Park. Thank you all very much for tuning in. For Cal Johnstone, Curtis Hiscox, Matthew Young, Kyle Brebner, Jeremy McGrady, and Neil Srivastava, my name is Dylan Baker. We'll talk to you again